evening? Any citizens forum? All right, everybody signed up for visitor citizens forum. Brings us to agenda item number 4, public recognition. Lori had a good point. Last week we had the National Night Out event. It was just incredible. Wonderful turnout, all kinds of attractions, things to do. I thought the magician was outstanding. I got to get that one. But tons and tons of kids. I thought it was a great event. Well prepared, well put on, and clearly a huge success. And all who helped out. Anybody else have any public recognition? All right. Agenda item number 5, employee recognition. Anyone? All right. Okay. Agenda item number 6, consider approval of council minutes, regular council meeting minutes from September 19th, 2023, and special meeting minutes from September 26th, 2023.
I didn't see any errors in it.
About a minute and a half. Stacy had 45 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't see anything there that might need adjusting.
Well, I'll make a motion to accept minutes for September 19th and 26th.
Okay, we have a motion from Councilperson Randall to accept the minutes from regular meeting September 19th and special meeting from September 26th, 2023.
I'll second that motion.
We have a second by Councilman Hernandez. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
The ayes have it. Motion passes.
Abstain.
Abstaining as well.
You
We just
abstain?
got them, yeah. We haven't had a chance to look over them,
Okay.
so
great.
that's fine.
All right.
So 3-2? Or 2 abstain?
2
Three
abstain,
votes,
yeah.
2 abstain. Josh and Stacy abstain. Agenda item number 7, presentation by Callie St. John on installation of fiber optic project by Rise Broadband.
Hi, everybody. Thanks
Here.
for
Is the
being
mic
here.
on?
I don't think you've got to flip the switch on.
Gotta flip it on. That's scary. I don't think y'all really want to hear my voice that much.
Is that on?
Yeah, it's on. Yep.
Yes.
Huh?
Okay.
Okay, we need to turn the
See, y'all are gonna regret this, the sound of my voice for a little bit, but thank you for having me. Your office has been incredible to work with, by the way, very communicative with me, so I just want to say thank you to you and Rebecca both. Thank you for being so communicative with me. Not all cities chat with me as much, so I really appreciate that. I just wanted to come here, kind of tell you a little bit about Rise, where we came from. We are built on rural fixed wireless, so we are basically a huge conglomeration of small ISPs across the country, with the focus being serving rural communities that have trouble having access to fiber, or internet in general. We started doing fiber about 2 years ago and decided to really invest in that in these rural areas. So it's been a big project. So I am specifically assigned to South San Antonio and making sure that we are being really respectful of the communities as we're in construction, post-construction. I'm sure you've heard we're kind of all around here. We're in Hondo, Castroville, Lytle, Natalia. I could keep going. We're gonna do a build out all throughout South San Antonio up to Cuero, so and then extend on to Houston and South San Antonio area. We really just want everybody to have affordable internet. It's not really a luxury anymore. It's a necessity. So I myself am from a small town in Texas and had that struggle growing up, even though I'm super young still. Don't ask me my age, but I remember dial-up. So I'm You can laugh, yes. But I just want to make sure, again, like I said, we're being really respectful, that we're working really closely with your public utilities to find locates. We have GPR, it's a ground penetration radar machine that helps locate if you have some areas that are a little iffy. I know that construction can be a little painful at times, but today I met with Natalia to make sure that we were in a really good spot, like making sure we weren't holding up traffic because, you know, little things like school lines, we don't want to hold that up. We want to make sure that we're as little of a nuisance as possible and can get in and get out, especially with the construction piece of it. So,
Kelly, will you let them know like how long the construction's gonna be?
Yes.
And then the location so that.
yes, so this is a fiber to the home build. We'll be going to every single home and business in the city of Devine, and obviously through in the outskirts. I've actually, if you have an address that's even outside of town, somebody can please come talk to me about it, because I would love to make sure to include everyone I possibly can in that build. Devine, it should be by the end of the year, we should finish construction.
That quick?
Yes.
Awesome.
Yeah, we really, like I said, we really want to get in and get out. Stockdale took about 2 or 3 months with all the heavy construction, so we really got in and got out, and now we're able to connect businesses and all that, so.
And this will be fiber optic for everyone. You have
Yes,
to have a
every
choice.
single person, and they absolutely have a choice. This is not, you have to have us as your provider, but obviously want to make sure we have that option for everyone.
What would the details be with the city, for example, franchise agreement, anything like that, percentage back?
So you actually get paid through, so we have SPCOA status, so that's under the Public Utilities Commission, that you're paid a certain amount through a set rate.
To the customers.
Yes, yeah.
Oh, I see. Okay.
But not only that, another piece of why I'm here is I really want to make sure that we're investing in your community and investing in your buildings, like if you need repairs. I mean, I know y'all's air conditioner was out.
Yes, that's that fixed.
Okay, that really stressed me out. I actually called my boss about that, and I was like, can we just pay for that? And that was totally some little things like that. We really want to make sure and be, or I want to make sure and be really intentional about. So I work really closely with the Lidl VFW. They're really wonderful. We've made some contributions to them, so things like that are really important.
So you've already gotten all this installed, I think, like you said, in
Stockdale.
Baskerville, Honda?
So we're in construction there,
Oh, I see.
in Lidl as well.
Okay.
So I think we should have a lot of that build out done here pretty soon, within the next couple of months.
Okay.
So
Well, it all sounds exciting, especially for everyone here, especially for certain areas of town that have a really tough time getting internet.
yes.
And we're seeing that it could also greatly benefit businesses such as mine. I know I have issues from time to time.
Yes.
So that is the way of the future. Very exciting, thank you.
Yeah, I'm really excited, and she has my contact information. I have one card left, so if y'all want to draw straws, I can give that person one. But I will probably hand it to you, Mayor, if that's all right. But I am really excited, and that's my personal cell phone number, and any little thing. I got a call from a lady in Cove that we accidentally hit her little sewer line, and somebody got there within 2 hours. So
I'm sure it's okay, you just go through Doris. She's got a hotline to me anytime
Okay.
that she needs it, so just converse with her on anything you might need and vice versa.
I'll do that. Well, thank you again for having me, and I appreciate it.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you
Hang
much.
on. Will you be, are you laying all your own line? Are you leasing off AT&T?
Yeah, we are absolutely laying all of our own fiber.
Okay, whose backbone do you use?
So we have a little bit of fiber light. We don't use AT&T. They don't really play.
They sure don't.
Others, which is why we have our own line. So we have certain middle mile paths that we use fiber light, but it's really a lot just our own line.
What's projected end cost for endpoint customers, residential and business?
So customers, it should be like $50. I know we already have a fixed wireless presence a little bit here. But yeah, that's like for 250 megs. So
I see you folks through the corporate structure there is owned by a Bill Ackman. Wow, what is your overall corporate policy on privacy and data sales?
it's standard, it's in compliance with the FCC.
Okay, it's just,
Yeah.
got it. All right, thank you.
You're welcome. It's a really good
Anybody else got anything, guys? No?
Yeah, I'm
All right.
happy.
Well, thanks again.
Thank you.
Sure appreciate it. All right, agenda item number 8, presentation by Nancy Sadoff of a bureau reveal for the city council, requested by Alderwoman Randall, District 5.
Good evening.
Hi, Nancy.
Hi, again, for something else different this time. Thank you for having me. I'm Nancy Saul, and I am the chair of the Devine Historical Committee, which is also a committee under the Devine Chamber of Commerce. And over 2 years ago, a revived Devine subcommittee of the Devine Chamber of Commerce met a few times to discuss ways to enhance and improve the presence of our community. I know Josh was at some meetings and some other people around in here have been. But it was just a kind of a seed committee that that first day, the seeds were planted for murals to be painted around town as public displays of art. Since that meeting, we've seen different beautiful murals being painted on buildings around town with plans for more. What else came to the meeting were ideas and an initial sketch of a historical mural for Devine. The ideas included a train, historic buildings, and of course cactus. From those ideas, our talented friend, Kathleen Reynolds, drew an initial sketch that we have drawn upon figuratively and literally for over 2 years. After recognizing the sketch would not work well on the building where we hoped to have it painted, we realized that the sketch would be perfect for a mural that we had a need for in the community center during the fall festival. Thus, the idea from a sketch to a painting to a mural evolved. Martha Wall and I were full of ideas, but it took Kathleen's talents and patience with us to pull it all together into this beautiful painting that we will unveil in just shortly. We cannot thank Kathleen enough for all she did to bring this image to life for our community. We do have already, from this painting, will be a mural that will be, it's not here yet, it's completed, so we will be receiving it soon, and it will be, when you come in to visit please come in during the Cactus Fall Festival, and you'll be able to see it. We're going to have it as our centerpiece on the stage wall. I have 2 things. Okay. Like I said, it'll be presented then. Make sure you come by, and also just a little plug in there. Please come by the community center during the festival to see the mural, as well as the Devine Cactus Zoo historical display, which will be right here. And we have a big surprise coming for that. Something we didn't even think possible 5 years ago that we were able to get. It's going to be a nice surprise going with that. And there will be the youth art exhibit, artworks by the school children from all of Devine ISD campuses, all of the campuses, as well as a private academy and homeschoolers. And if you came in here last year and you saw we had the pop-ups for the art all over the room, we had almost 1,000 children from Devine participating, and there should be more this year. So, I mean, we are really so excited. The campuses, again, have just embraced this. And so, please, I know it's going to be busy during the festival, but if you can sneak in here sometime and see it, we just love it, because we want to show off the kids and all the things we have going on. And there'll be other things in here, too. The Friends of the Library, also the Devine Students Teachers Association will be in here, and also the Devine Garden Club. So there'll be a lot coming in and going on that day. Now, this time, I'd like to have an unveiling of Kathleen. And she took sketches, photographs, sketched them, paintings, and blew them up. I just can't tell you what all she did. If you see, we have like a progression of it, it's just beautiful. And we give you Historic Devine, established
Wow.
1881.
Wow.
Beautiful, beautiful.
The bureau will be a vinyl bureau that we can roll, and we wanted to do that so we could store it well. And also we have plans for this, might be a little traveling, painting and mural within the community. So we have some plans to, once it's been unveiled, we wanted you to see it. The chamber has already seen it, and we wanted to, of course, we've been excited. Martha and I just held our breaths all the time and didn't let anybody see anything. So we've been excited. I have these also for you. In about just a second, but I'll read it. This beautiful painting of Historic Devine was created by local artist Kathleen Ventries Reynolds in 2023. It was inspired by the architecture and history of some of the oldest buildings that are still present in the small South Texas town of Devine, located in the southeast corner of Medina County. Devine was established in 1881 as a water and fuel station when the rails of the International Great Northern Railroad were extended from San Antonio to Laredo. It was named for Judge Thomas Jefferson Devine of San Antonio, an eminent Texas Supreme Court judge and attorney for the railroad. Devine had a population of 504 when it was first incorporated in 1904. That was the first incorporation. Then the unincorporated, then the incorporated in 1907. So if you see discrepancies in the dates, they're all correct. The painting was commissioned by the Devine Historical Committee of the Devine Chamber of Commerce under the direction of Martha Bain Wall and me. In the paper I'm giving you, we'll give you a few explanations of, I don't know the audience gets it, but it tells you a little bit. I have numbers there. We don't have it numbered. We will have a different key where we'll have a gray scale with numbers on it that you can follow. But what we have in the forefront, of course, the cactus with the blooms and the blue bonnets. We have the synesis, and anybody that drives around Devine, South Texas, you know you're going to see the blue bonnets and the cactus especially. We also have the steam engine depicted from an 1881 style during that time. And if you notice right here, the bridge with the trestle is from the one on 132. So we put it. So Kathleen put it on there with we have the historical marker of Judge Devine. Then you'll notice some of these buildings, and when you look at them, you're going to say, "Wait a minute, that does not say Momentum Bank. That looks like the back of Momentum Bank." Well, actually, it is. But it was originally the Adams Company. And we also, in 1937, became Loggins and Lilly's. And if any of you lived in Devine, anytime after 1937 till Wentz came in the 70s or 80s, this store, the storefront was on College Avenue. And when you go by there and you look at the architecture of it, you will see this. And Kathleen we took paintings from, it was built in 1906. You'll see paintings, pictures from that era in the Devine Community Guide that from the Devine News puts out each year. The Devine Historical Committee revamped and updated Henry Briscoe's Tour of Devine, and a lot of those buildings you'll see in there. This tree over on Transportation Drive is still standing, and from the 1901 and 1904 pictures, it was still a huge tree during that time, and that tree is still there. It's right next to Adams National Bank, and which was Adams National Bank, which is now a private. It was IW Auto Parts at one time, and it's a private residence now. You'll see like the Opera House in the date 1906, the library side, but it says Adams Company Lumberyard, which it still says now, but it was actually a lumberyard connected to the Adams Company. And then we have Black Creek Coffee right here, but on this it says First State Bank, which is what it was built for. It was the First State Bank. Adams was a national bank, and the First State Bank was right there. Then you have what's now the tortilla factory, was one of the earliest gas stations, if not the earliest gas station in Devine. You will, of course, see the Warhorse and Arabian Devine Water Tower. Then you'll see independent grocery, the first independent grocery that, and then we have next on Bright Street, it says Dr. Woods. Well, that was his second or third office. And during that time, but over here we have what's currently Sherry's Flowers, but it says at the bottom, Howard's Drug Store, built in 1913, and upstairs was the doctor's office. So a lot of these buildings you'll see, and of course our oldest that I know of, the oldest building that I can find so far is the Devine News Building, because it was purchased with, they traded a buggy and a horse. KK's great-great-grandfather bought it, the Devine News, in 1897. So this building was here and prior to 1897. Now, I don't know how early, because we didn't have the newspapers early enough for that. But you'll see a number of buildings, and I'll give each one of you the picture, and it'll have a few explanations when you look at it, and then you'll see some other things. So when you see the names that aren't the same, we were doing the historical research we've done in our committee to do this, and Kathleen has been just, I throw all kinds of things at her and pictures and what I'm gonna do, but what I love so much about this is that Kathleen took all the things, the historic buildings that are still here, and was able to put them, not because they're kind of spread out if you drive around, but to put it all together gives you that full feeling of, you know what, there's a lot of things we still have that we can protect and we can enjoy. And I had the wonderful opportunity to be invited to the third grade classrooms at the Devine Intermediate School. George Reedus came in first, and then I came in with pictures after him, and to talk about the history of Devine and their community. And KK, for the Devine News, Kayleen, they sent us the magazines that had all the historical pictures in it and stuff, and we're able to do lessons with the third graders. I didn't have this painting, but I'm going to go back to it later with a mural. The kids are going to really like it. And we talked about the buildings, and we talked about how through the many generations of Devine, how we talked about recycling and reusing, and how the buildings have been reused over time. That we did, when we talked about, well, that what if you do, the building's old and you don't need it, and the kids said tear it down. I said, but that's not what they did. They reused it to something else. And one thing you'll notice on here, you're gonna say, wait a minute, that says Devine, it says International Great Northern Railroad Depot, and it was in the 1800s. You say, that's not there. Well, it's not. However, it is still in Devine. It is still in Devine. And I showed the kids an old picture, the 1904 picture of the Devine Depot, 1907, then in 1974, and I said, look how they took care of it. It was painted a beautiful white, but they didn't need them anymore. And I said, what do you think they did with it? And they said, tore it down. And I said, no, they cut it in half, and then they moved it. And I said, how many of you know where Las Palmas is? And of course, the hands fly up in the room, and the kids knew where that was. I said, what's behind there? And they said, oh, there used to be a doctor's office, and there's a this and that. And I told them that the front, which you can't see here, but the front end, whichever end that was, the front end is the tax office. And if you drive by on 132, you'll see it says Devine Depot. The back half is on the other end of the L on the side street. And so we talked about how that the people of Devine have been good at reusing our buildings, not just, and I know we have buildings that are, of some of these that are not being used, but they can be. They can be an asset to our community in so many ways. I think when you look at the buildings we're talking about, maybe somebody lives in them, it's a home, and some of them are wanting to do something with them, but it's just, I just can't thank Kathleen enough for this rendition that we have now for our community to share in our community. And that with the mural will be something that you're going to be seeing around town in different places. And it's all about sharing this, sharing it with the school. And we were just happy to present it to y'all, and it will be at the Fall Festival. And like I said, it'll be where you least expect it here and there. You're going to come up across town, in town, and be able to see it in different places. So, just wanted to do that. Oh, we do want to take a picture. Do y'all mind being up here and taking a picture with us with it? Y'all have fun?
Yeah.
I don't mind.
Okay. And the chamber, and the chamber.
Let me just say real quickly, I'm really amazed at that Mrs. Reynolds. I call her Mrs. Reynolds because she taught me in high school.
It is.
Okay, and,
The closer you get to it, it's just.
you know, I thought about it a little bit before the meeting and said, oh, I'm curious to see it. And I just was like, but I'm really, really amazed. That's just one of
Yeah.
the.
But if you don't mind, if you take a picture, someone take it with my phone. Because I want to get it in the paper. And the chamber. We just kind of crowd around it. It is, the closer you get, isn't it amazing? Oh, yeah. Okay, we're just gonna Kathleen to see. And Kathleen too. Did I get you? Well, I'm gonna. Did you take?
That's okay. I have my body behind it.
This is tailored off over here. Some of you folks over this way. Come on. Okay.
Oh, yeah, Kathleen.
It's all ours.
Okay, cool.
Easel's about a foot shorter, so we get more people behind it.
Here?
Yeah. Kind of, if you could get behind. Yeah.
I will go around.
I want to get close enough to see everybody.
Yeah, please just get over where you're going.
Now, look at me. You don't see my camera. I can see you. We're having a little trouble right here.
Yeah, like foam on my nose.
I'm still missing. Okay, that's good. Right there. Okay, give me just a quick second. I'm going to take a couple. Just look here with the flash. Just look here. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Nancy.
That was great.
Thank you.
It is, and I have these for y'all, so. I just want to make you. Thank you for asking.
Well, Nancy, thank you for continuing to be an excellent community servant.
Just glad y'all, like, I can do this real quick.
Can't wait to see the mural.
Have those.
That mural's gonna be beautiful.
And you'll be seeing it again, but and I'd been seeing it, not the original, but I've been seeing all the
Thank you, ma'am.
steps she was making,
Yeah.
and it still blew me away. As many times as I've seen it. Thank y'all.
Thank you, Nancy. Thank you, Chamber.
Anybody else?
All right, everybody, moving on the agenda, we go to item number 9. Consider and act upon a request by Scott Greer regarding outstanding invoice from Harris.
These are just things that I have.
We don't have anything to show.
Everybody gets a copy.
Hello, Mayor and Council. Scott Gregor, SG Golf Management. Just coming back from the conversation we had about 2 months ago regarding the $36,000 outstanding balance with Harold's. So I've got a couple of handouts. We were able to return $11,246.15 that Harold's picked up approximately 2 weeks ago. So that's going to be handout number 1. The second handout shows the remaining balance prior to the return is $30,762.35. On top of that, there's $7,729.54 worth of finance charges. I talked to Harold's this morning, and they said if it was paid in full, they would waive all finance fees. So I've got a couple of handouts.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Where's the disco ball?
So basically, what I figured based off of the spray records that I turned over last time, the city of Devine is responsible for $4,183.49. Return was $11,246.15. That of which Devine Golf Group is responsible for $15,333.11 if paid in full. If not, we have to, like I said, the finance charge is $7,729.54.
So am I on? Can you hear me? I'll just yell. This one that I gave you, that's the spray records.
Which one is that?
The one I gave you up front, I gave you two before we came up. The
Yeah.
one that's sideways, that's the spray records. And then down on the bottom, all the numbers. This is the inventory that we took, what was it, on August 25th? I think is when, this is what we said we had. And now I'm just now seeing this and it's a little looking different. I
There's about
haven't
$1,000
looked, been able to
difference,
look to see.
I don't know if any of the jugs were half open or what the situation
Right.
was, but I
It
mean,
could have been.
It's close.
It's very close, it's 1,000-ish off from what the list we had for inventory. That's
But
pretty
I
close.
also don't know if what was returned, that 11,246 has tax included, or if tax is on top of that, which is.
It's not
rough.
tax.
Okay,
There's no tax, we have to add tax.
okay, so it's approximately another $900.
How did you determine what was there when you left the course?
What,
At the end of February in 2022, did you take an inventory and give it to the city so we could see what was there and discuss? Because it kind of came as a big surprise to everybody. So how did you determine what was there, the starting point for the chemicals and then you were there?
So I did an inventory before I left and paid for everything, and then I was told that the city was gonna do an inventory after I left.
So when I'm moving out of my apartment, I would get an inventory and somebody would have to sign that so we both get a copy. Can you provide any of those copies?
No.
So the 32,000 was through the whole year, Scott? When y'all first purchased this?
So in October, we ordered about $48,000 worth of chemical, that of which we applied about $16,000 October through February that we paid for.
So, just to start off on the application things here, like I said, not having a starting inventory is really quite an issue.
There's a contract that says there's $34,000 of inventory.
Is it 36?
So that,
Yeah, Josh showed it last time we were up here.
and I came to learn afterwards, that was the inventory list. That was the inventory list off your contract, and I'm not sure why it was attached there, it was the exact same one, so it wasn't, from all I can gather, there was no inventory whenever you folks left and the new folks took over. So we have absolutely no record that's why I was asking if you had an inventory, because I found out that one wasn't for the end of your contract or the start of the new folks.
The list that we had that night of inventory was what you started with.
Then why is it on their contract?
There was no,
It wasn't.
That's not what Josh said when we were up here.
Right, it was sent to me in an attachment, and so I didn't understand how that got attached there, and so I looked, and I got a separate copy of the new folks' contract, and then a copy of your contract, and it was the exact same thing from your contract. So I'm not sure what happened there that got added on. That was the mix-up that we had though.
I don't think we had any fertilizer there when you
There was
started.
nothing there.
Like, the Devine had not purchased fertilizer.
Well, the inventory that was provided said that there was $36,000 of fertilizer and chemicals.
Not on Scott's contract.
I think so.
And,
Well,
there's
I had
nothing-
Scott's contract and I never had an attachment to it, and I had from the beginning.
What was that inventory that we had that night that was handed out? The inventory that was handed out that night,
Uh-huh.
it showed golf course equipment, it showed like security cameras, it showed several things that he inherited when he was given the contract. And it also had $36,000 of fertilizer.
I would have to look at the box. I don't.
Well, I have a copy of it somewhere. I didn't think I would need this. But that was, anyway, that was what Josh was reading from at the last meeting. We were discussing this.
That was on the DGG's contract that he was reading
Nope.
from.
I have it right.
Well, that's what you said it was. I
Right.
took your word
Right.
for it
Yes.
at the time,
Yes.
that that was the DGG's
So I just did
contract.
mix up.
Again, if you go back to all the records, we're returning 11,000. We showed that Devine Golf Group sprayed 14,000. We showed the city sprayed 4,000. It's coming up with the $30,000 exactly, or within a couple of percentages that this balance is.
So that's minus what's left right now? In other words, okay, you're saying the Divine Golf Group spent how much?
$15,000 approximately.
I showed they sprayed $11,964
How did you determine that?
from the spray records that Nick Miller gave us at the meeting 2 months ago.
These papers right here?
So the spray record is gonna be the one that, like, the soda stain, that one, correct?
This one?
Yes.
And all
yeah,
I
but
did
this
was
is the old
take,
one then, I guess.
I took Nick's and put it into a spreadsheet.
Oh, okay.
That's all I did.
So that's- all
I
right.
took Nick's spray sheet records and just put it in a spreadsheet.
So that's what you gave us
Correct.
today? Okay, thank you.
So before you left at the end of February, okay, first of all, you bought this the previous October, and you bought it on a delayed type payment with Harris.
Early order program.
Okay, so you didn't spray or use any of this in January, February, no pre-emergent, no anything?
I
Yeah.
sprayed approximately $18,000 because we ordered $48,000 worth, and that was paid prior to me leaving.
Okay, so you left it off of this chart.
I left it off the chart because he had already paid for it, then that was not what was in discussion about this. That wasn't there anymore. When he left, he'd already used it. It wasn't at the golf course. This is just, I started it from the time Devine City took over the golf course, which was March 1st, and then went from there.
So in 2.5 weeks, okay, first of all, okay, so we want to show that SG Golf hasn't sprayed anything first 2 months of '22.
No, they did in January and February. There's just no dollar
I see
totals
dollar
there.
amount.
I don't know, I could sit here and figure it out for you, but I didn't put it on here because it's not germane to the topic of what we're talking about today.
So if you look at columns 1 through 8, you see, well, I guess 2 through 7 they sprayed, and then
Why would you be doing all this?
I just did it for my own good and I'm sharing it with you. I needed to understand it, so I'm sharing it with you.
Boy, it would have been great if we got this before tonight.
Well, I didn't have the inventory at the last meeting at August 22nd, when we talked about it.
you were up there directing that inventory.
I'm sorry?
You were up there directing that inventory.
I was not directing it, I was writing down what was there. You can go listen to the tape. I did not direct one thing.
Implied tasking. Anyhow.
I wrote down what they said was in those boxes. And that's what this is the inventory that was there on August 25th.
And the other thing too, that- just real quick, it may not be germane to this, but you just said that there wasn't any chemical fertilizer left when you took over the course in 2020. But then during your inventory, it was noted that there was stuff there that you said belonged to the golf course. I mean, the city, that stuff the city had, it was here when I took over.
A handful of bags, yes, you are correct.
But it wasn't very much.
No.
Did you inventory that?
No, I only inventoried Harold's, because the other stuff,
Yes,
Mm.
there was
It could-
also, when we did the inventory, there was also other chemicals that were not Harold's chemicals that we did not inventory that Devine Golf Group must have purchased. We strictly just inventoried the Harold's because that was the only accounting question.
And then you mentioned this fellow Nick Miller. Oh wait, let me backtrack just real quick. So the city of Devine, all right, in 2 weeks, used $4,000 worth of chemical
Correct.
under the direction of Nick Miller.
No, under the direction of Rob Flores at the time. There's a pre-emergent called Coastal that needs to go out in February, and that was the time that the city had it, and he was directed by Rob to spray that.
How did Rob know what to spray and how to spray?
He did not, he used Nick's recommendation.
How did, so some of the heartburn I got here is that we used almost a quarter in 2 weeks of what you say you used in like 2 or 3 months. Why is it spraying?
In the winter time, when everything's dormant, all you spray is the greens, so you're not spraying a whole lot. The pre-emergent would have been sprayed in rough fairways and tees, so it's a lot bigger surface area.
Well, that definitely makes sense. Good, as far as that goes.
You have to keep, you gotta keep track of every time that you spray for any kind of purpose or?
So with Texas.
Chemicals?
Yes.
Okay.
You have to have a spray license, and then you have to keep on record for 1 year.
And spraying? Okay.
The thing that I'm stuck on is you entered into a contract with your vendor. Okay, and then so you had all this chemical and you were paying and such. I think I saw those pay records the last time. And then now, a year and a half later, you come back wanting us to pay for things that you purchased from your vendor. And it sure seems to me it would have been a whole lot easier to accomplish if the city would have provided a detailed inventory such as this when you left.
I was told the city was gonna do an inventory upon me leaving.
And that would be from Rob Flores.
Yes.
But wouldn't you want to make sure that it was correct?
I had
Before you
2
left?
weeks to get all my stuff out of there. That was the least of my worries, knowing that I was told that a city employee was gonna do it.
Dora?
I mean, as far as, what he's saying, I mean, yeah, it was, I know that council had directed Rob at that time to do an inventory when he was leaving. But my understanding from him is that,
No, there was no inventory done on the chemicals.
Okay, in case you couldn't hear him, he said there was no inventory done by the city on the chemicals.
right,
So if you have that much money sitting there, it would seem to me that you would ensure that it's accounted for, but why wouldn't you just return it to the vendor at that time?
Because I was told to leave it because they needed it. It was during COVID times where we were unable to order it, and there was a long backlog to get more.
How do you just leave that sit around without it?
There was a city council minutes and I was instructed to leave it because it was gonna be needed. Because I was even gonna return it, and at a city council meeting, I was instructed to leave it because it was hard to get and they had to have it.
Can you find that for me in the records?
I will.
That will help me.
It was
So there's
at-
minutes?
It was at a meeting?
there is a meeting, I think,
Yes.
Denise, didn't you said you found it?
I remember hearing it.
So if I'm being instructed by city
I
council to
remember,
leave it,
I actually remember Rob telling him to leave it.
Well, he said city council.
Well, no, it was at a city
meeting with Rob
council
here.
meeting.
Yes.
Rob was here and Rob said, no, go ahead and leave it because he brought it up.
I said I can return it with no stocking fee, but it is hard to get, and Rob said we have to maintain the golf course until a new group comes in. If we can't get it, we need it, so just leave it. So I was instructed by city council to leave it.
That sounds
Well, then we should
reasonable.
have that archived, it should be in video or
Yeah.
written down.
I guess we could find it, but
So-
I remember it
So
happening.
you left I think you gave notice in January of 2022, and then your notice was effective at the end of February 2022. So it would have had to have been during that time frame. It seemed like it would be something easy to research. Okay, because quite frankly, if the city did say that, okay, then I can see where the city would be responsible for this.
So I
Okay.
remember it being said, then that's not good enough. Fine, we'll go find it, but the fact remains, it was said, he left it, here's the numbers and the proof. What is the problem?
Well, we just told you.
You don't believe me that Rob said leave it?
Actually,
No.
it doesn't
Okay,
matter.
fine.
It's not that we don't believe you, I need
That's
to hear
fine,
it, you
that's
know?
fine.
Why are you getting upset?
I'm upset because you're saying I'm lying.
I'm not
Easy,
saying you're
easy.
lying.
Yes, you are.
No, ma'am.
Easy, please.
We just wanna know the whole story.
Again, when I was up here 2 months ago, everybody had said everything that was discussed, everybody was on board, we had to do a little bit more due diligence. I've done more due diligence, I had almost $12,000 of chemical replaced without anything, and now we need more information.
Actually, I think saying everyone was on board is misrepresentation.
Okay, sorry, we needed a couple
Yeah,
more
because-
You
invitations.
said
Okay,
you were on.
what happened that
I just
night
said
was.
yes,
Wait,
okay,
yes,
now,
I still
please,
am.
because you wanted the.
Debbie, I have the
inventory.
floor.
Fine, sorry.
Thank you. And what happened that night was, the current group was here, and you were here, and you talked about this inventory and such. And I remember distinctly suggesting, perhaps something we worked out with a vendor. I even mentioned to Ron and Otter, is this chemical that you can use? And they said, probably, yes. I said, well, perhaps you could work out something with the vendor where you pay for it as you use it. Okay, so it wasn't everyone was on board with this. Okay, it was on board that that you guys would try to work something out with your vendor.
And we did, we returned $12,000 worth of chemicals.
Yeah, but now you're talking about all this here.
That hasn't changed, that was the same numbers I presented 2 months ago. The numbers haven't changed, all that's changed is we returned $12,000 worth of chemical.
Well, by your records here, the Devine Golf Group sprayed, what did you say, almost $15,000 worth?
11,964
And then how was that determined?
by the spray
Spray
records from
records
Nick.
when Nick was an employee of the Devine Golf Group.
Does he have those records?
You have them right
You have them in
there.
front of you.
Oh,
So Nick is no longer with them, but he was with them all the way through this?
Yes, I think he was terminated end of July, beginning of August, I don't know the exact date.
And these are physical records that anybody can see.
He's got them.
We
He was
received a
gonna be here
copy.
2 weeks ago, but it was during storms, he was unable to come. But I can get them.
Didn't you bring them to us already?
All he sent me was the Excel spreadsheet that I formulated and
Okay,
gave you,
okay.
nothing necessarily.
Well, it sounds like it should be pretty relatively easy to find the meeting minutes or the video or whatever where Rob instructed you to leave it behind. That's a clear shut case there, and that makes us very much responsible for that.
That's true.
Find
City.
that there's
That means
zero
it's-
leg we have to stand on to say anything other than we owe that money.
If that's verified, then I would say that the city owes minus the sales tax, that amount. Harold should have no problem crediting it back to sales tax.
I think that'd be a sales tax in their jurisdiction.
If we pay for it, there's no sales tax.
Oh,
If the
okay.
DGG does, they pay sales tax.
Gotcha.
The invoice was actually under the Devine Golf Association, which has been non-existent for many years.
That sounds many.
I think Harold's just kept it that way, and it's kind of filtered on down. So that part's easy, okay? If it's on record and it was said and verified, if it's in the minutes, or if it's on the video, I personally would recommend that we pay. As far as what the city of Devine is responsible. But that's something that we would have to, obviously, to look into.
So this is gonna get tabled again for another 3 months, so I can keep
Well,
getting
sir.
started by Harold's.
So, sir, with all with all due respect, it would have been great. Clearly, you've had this ready for some time. And
I tried to get on the agenda 6 weeks ago.
You denied it. You denied me.
No, I'm talking about this here.
You would have had that 6 weeks ago.
Why didn't we have it before? You know how our packets work. You know how our information works. If we would have had this
I was
last
trying to get
week-
it on the agenda, and you said we didn't have time that meeting, and we're not
No,
gonna
ma'am,
do it.
I'm talking about this week. I'm talking about this week, okay? If you had it ready then, why wasn't council given all this information? so
I
we
brought it
can-
for you for this meeting. I'm sorry
Exactly.
that I didn't give it to
So,
you 6
Scott,
weeks
that's
ago,
why
you
it
lost.
made me table
Yeah, it would have
again.
made us prepared, but, I mean.
As far as
But
what
how
we're
am I
gonna say.
responsible for any of this, knowing everything that I'm showing you guys accounts for everything that was left behind?
Well, I guess it's because you are the one that entered into the contract with the vendor. Okay, so, if something can be worked out, great. I personally have just gone on record recommending that the city pays this if it's shown that we're responsible. Okay, that's all I can talk about.
Again, Denise just recalls the conversation that Rob was told to leave it.
Well, then it should be real easy to verify.
So you have 3,
And then the rest of it, I know, I see Ron and Otto are here. Have you discussed with them any of this?
I don't know.
Okay. What you want them to pay for it?
They sprayed it. We have record that they sprayed it. They told their employee to spray it.
What all was in the cart shed that couldn't be opened and they had to have bolt cutters?
Well, somebody must
I
have.
don't know what that would
Because
be.
it
I
used
don't
to
know
be
what
in the
shed
park
had to
barn.
be cut. I understand, but I don't know which shed was cut. I know a couple of you had teeth.
The
I'm
sh-
sorry,
the
I
Herald
couldn't
stuff
hear
was
you.
in 3 different cart
So
runs.
it's a shed that had all the Herald stuff in it.
They had all the Herald stuff that was left
Correct, that was returned.
that they didn't spray.
Correct.
Well then, so the rest of it was in another shed.
It was in 3 different sheds.
There were 3 sheds that had inventory in all 3 sheds when we took it on August 25th. One of them, they couldn't find the key to one of the sheds, so they cut it off.
Right, those bolt cutters.
Correct. But
There was also chemical in some other building too that they found after we left.
yeah,
as well.
that's true. That's when they found something else afterwards.
What was something else?
It was a spectacle, it was the $1,700 jug that they had stored, I guess maybe somewhere that was more secure, was really expensive, I don't know where it was at.
This is just poor record keeping. It's making it very confusing, and I don't feel comfortable making a decision at this moment.
What would you need?
What do you need me to present? in
If you
order for to-
present those meeting minutes with the video, so I can see Rob instructing you, all right, this is the best we got then, I guess we're on the hook
Because
for
2
it.
months ago, you wanted me to give you everything I'm getting to you right now, is what you wanted 2 months ago. I'm presenting that to you today, now you want more information.
Yes.
And then I'm gonna come back in 2 months and you're gonna want more information?
What leg could I possibly have to stand on if a city employee instructed you? I mean, granted, a city employee
You
should
have
not be
2
instructing
employees
you.
right here
The
that
council
are
should be
saying
agreeing
yes,
that
they
when it has
remember the
a.
conversation.
Relax.
He was the director of public works, and
Okay.
he was in charge of the golf course.
Time out. We've already talked about that, Scott. Okay, I know what she said, I know what Debbie says. Okay, so it should be very easy to prove. Okay, so that's my stance. Now, the rest of the council may feel differently. Okay, so there's no sense in arguing about all that. Right? So, like I just said, clearly, if that was said here and Rob was instructed to use it, then we owe you for it. We owe Arrows, whomever. Now, if you like, we can even have a special meeting next week.
I've got a job, I've got to travel, I try to make this to come and get you everything you need so I don't have to come to this meeting. And I did everything Josh asked me to do, because Josh was on the fence the last time. He said, bring this to me, and I will agree. I brought this to him, and now he wants more information.
Fire that over. I'm happy to show up to a special meeting. You don't need to be present, and we can vote to just pay that part of the bill. That's all. It's the last thing there. Just a little piece of information then.
Okay.
So, okay, and that seems to be fair. Not trying to be difficult. I wasn't here, so, you know, everything's archived. I go by and look at it fairly quickly. I would assume you might even be able to do it right now, but you have to go through it, the video and everything.
Thank you.
Is there anything further regarding this agenda item?
Debbie, if you
What?
have the records from the previous year so we can compare year-over-year use, that would be very valuable.
What records? Of the spray?
Yeah.
No, I only had what was given to us at that meeting in August.
Locate those if you can. 'Cause
If Nick still has them.
whatever the state
Does it go in a
requires.
computer system?
Okay,
Is that generated?
let me ask you, what are you looking for?
So my concern, well, primarily my concern is $4,000 worth of chemical sprayed in a 2-week period. Is that, do I have a benchmark to look at that against? How much was sprayed the previous year?
I can get that for you.
Okay, that helps make an even stronger case here.
For the record, it does make sense that a lot of stuff got sprayed in the early spring.
Now, that's when they
Okay.
would have to do the
So,
whole course.
I was a landscaper, certified landscaper once upon a time, and that does make perfect sense, because that's when you want to get out pre-emergent and several other things. Okay, but especially in Texas, because things start turning a lot earlier than other places. So that part makes sense, and like I said, if the city told them to leave it there for us to use.
Absolutely.
Well, there you go.
Okay.
So, it just needs to be verified, that's simple. Now, the one thing we can do, okay, since Scott has a timeline, he works and what have you, I would entertain the motion, something to the effect of the pending verification.
I'll make the motion that, well, the first motion, upon verification for next week, that Scott, SG Golf Management is not responsible for the $30,762.75.
For the part that's attributed to the city of Devine.
Not the whole total.
We're only talking about what's attributed to the city of Devine.
Okay, well, there's, okay, no,
That's a simple matter between.
Well, you can make one motion. any way
okay,
you want.
the thing is that it's, okay, well, no, I'm not even gonna say that.
Can I motion?
Let's just, I'd rather make motion once we get the information, because there's other things that have to be talked about then. It's either Scott is not responsible for any of it, that's one motion, and the other part is the city paying the $4,000, whatever the number is, and that the DGG would be responsible for the rest.
I don't want to get in the middle of a civil matter between
Well,
two private entities.
Because they're the ones who used it, and we have the proof for that. So that's what I'm saying. I don't think we really want to get into that tonight, since we can't even quote need verification that Rob said that in the first place. So why have the argument tonight?
This does bring up another conversation, you're right. Can I make a motion, we schedule a special meeting next week, either Tuesday or Thursday, to discuss the matter of absolving SG Golf Management of the Harrow chemicals used during the 2 weeks the city used it, or city had possession.
Okay. I will not recognize the motion yet. Okay. Okay, you do not want to speak because you are on the sign-in list and such? Okay, the Devine Golf Group is going to decide that they don't want to speak right now. So, I'm sorry, Josh. Please repeat. I just thought they had something to say that might affect your motion.
No worries.
Okay.
Good call. I make a motion that either 24 or 26 October at 6 p.m., the Devine City Council have a special meeting pending availability of council members and a quorum to discuss absolving SG Golf Management of the chemical charges for the 2-week period in February of 2022 that the city had possession.
Okay, did you get all that? All right, we have a motion by Josh for special meetings for next week.
What day was that?
This is
It'll be
Tuesday,
the 17th
Thursday,
to
next
19th,
week.
or 24, 26.
To hopefully wrap up this particular part of this issue, the city's part, that the city has to affect.
I'll second that.
We have a second by Philip Vega. Any further discussion? All in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it, the motion passes. Okay. Agenda item number 10. Consider and act upon the pumps and platforms at the Devine Golf Course, requested by Alderman Hernandez. Michael, you have the floor.
All right, I went and inspected the pumps over there at the golf course. You got two of them. You got you got a vertical pump that's at the main one, and it's by itself, but it's seeping real bad. It needs to be replaced. There's a mechanical seal that actually they'll stop that water from actually spewing out, so it's losing pressure. So that water gets sent down to the back two pumps, I believe, and it sounds like it's starving for water, because I think the well transfers water all the way to the other two pumps. Now, this has been going on for a long time. It has nothing to do with the last three people that were running this. This has been going on for at least, I would say, 15 to 20 plus years. The back nine is probably the worst. Both pumps, they're centrifugal pumps. So what they do is that the inlet and the outlet, the water comes through, and it gets sent to all the sprinklers. The problem is you got two electrical panels, and they're sitting on a metal platform. Those metal platforms are already deteriorating. They're rotten. Those panels can fall over any time. You got them pumps sitting at an angle, so you're having some kind of a friction on there, where those bolts or anything, those clamps could bust at any time. So one of the pumps probably could be saved, is the second one is probably not. So I couldn't get you a price because it was very difficult for the company to come and install a pump on there when they don't know if it's going to fit right, because the platform is at an angle. So there's probably going to be some reconstruction work at both of those sites, and it's probably going to cost some good money. Like I said, it has nothing to do with the last three people that are running it. This has been going on for over 20 years. So the people who had this 20 years ago should have been more responsible for these pumps.
So we have no number?
Because there's going to be more people involved. You're going to have to put it on a concrete platform.
Well, without a proposal, I can't say yes or no.
Well, no, I'm not asking you. I'm just trying to advise you what's going on. Just telling you, it's going to need a concrete slab. It's probably going to have to be all replumbed. I mean, if you want, I can start, get with these guys and let them know what needs to be done. You're going to need, if you want to put on another metal platform that's going to rot in another 15 years, we're going to need a welder. You're going to need an electrician. You're going to need a well company, kind of like Mike Mellows. Yeah.
I might be amenable, I mean, we just keep hemorrhaging money to a stinking golf course, but I might be amenable to that if we can rework the contracts. We're pouring a lot of money. I know it's capital expenses, but that's a lot of money that I'm not a huge fan of the private business and government partnership, but let's relook at that contract, see what we can do with future earnings. Not opposed to folks making money off it, and they put a lot of their own money into it, a lot of their own time into it, but see if we can rework that to help the city recoup a little bit more money in the future.
Well, the current contract says that we'll help with the replacement of pumps. It does state that. I'm all good with that. But I can't say, go do it now without a number.
No, I'm not saying it, I'm just trying to bring it up for conversation, so that way we all know. I believe we all need to go look at it so you can see what's going on with it.
Do you
I
have a
would-
recommendation for what the next step should be?
It's getting an estimate. I mean, we're gonna have to get together, and like I said, the main one is probably the one in the back 9.
Well, I would think Pete and the DGG could get together and, work on getting that estimate or proposal for whatever needs, whatever needs to be done. I don't know about pumps personally.
Yeah.
That's why I need paper to show me what it says.
If that mechanical seal can be replaced, it's not gonna cost that much, but if it can't, because it's sitting vertical, so the plate that it's actually sitting on, if you would, take off that pump, it's probably not gonna go back on in the same spot. It's probably not gonna fit at all. So, just letting y'all know, but
Yeah, I've also talked with Kevin Yanity about this, and, he ran a golf course for years and years and years with the Golf Association, and he said it is a dire situation, is what he said, as far as having irrigation for the course, and especially the new 9, back 9, but basically the new 9, north of Jack Nicklaus.
yeah.
I don't have a problem having Pete go work with the DGG to find that out, to get the
Yeah,
information.
they're gonna have to do that. I mean, I thought it was gonna be easy where I could get somebody out there and look at the pumps and, hey, I don't think he wants to be responsible when he removes something and it doesn't fit back where they have to be reconstructed, So they didn't wanna be responsible for all that.
Do we need a motion to have Pete go do that?
Yeah, I think so, since it involves an independent contractor.
All right,
Yeah.
I'll make the motion to have Pete, go ahead and work with the Devine Golf Group to get an estimate for that pump replacement and whatever's entails, because
I
we
mean, I
don't
had
know.
videos and I was hoping they could upload them so we could see them, so you could actually see
Okay.
what's going
All right, we have
on.
a motion. Okay, we have a motion by Debbie to basically go out for estimates so council can determine how to proceed. Do we have a second?
I've got discussion.
Okay, you can do it before or after. Okay.
Okay.
Discussion, Josh, go ahead.
On that quote, I would request you folks break it out into several tiers, because if it's gonna cost too much money, we're gonna need to spread this out over a few budget years, so maybe per pump house or per phase of construction in that. I don't want us to wind up with $150,000 in debt
Okay, I'll fix the motion.
I don't think we
For
have to.
Pete
If
to
you
work
want,
with the
go ahead.
DGD to get an explicit, itemized proposal.
Yeah, it's got to be itemized.
How's that? Is that better?
Yes, ma'am. Okay, we have, due to no second, we have another motion by Councilperson Randall to get an explicit estimate for the pump situation of the golf course.
I'll second.
We have a second by Councilperson Vega. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Unanimous, the motion passes. Agenda item number 11, looks a lot longer than it probably is. Huh? I figured as such, but anyway, I still gotta read it. Okay, so, agenda item number 11, consider to act upon a request submitted by the Devine Chamber of Commerce for its 62nd Annual Cactus Festival on November the 4th, 2023. Item A, the use of the community center, November 1st, 2023 through November 5th, 2023. Dory, do we need a motion on each subcategory? Okay, so all right, we'll start with subcategory A. Once again, the use of the community center from November the 1st, 2023 through November the 5th, 2023. I think it speaks for itself. Does anybody have any questions?
We're gonna do a motion for each item?
That's what she said.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'll make the motion to have the Chamber of Commerce have the use of the community center November 1st through November 5th.
Okay, we have a motion by Councilperson Randall, seconded by Reverend Vega.
Is this free of charge?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. All right. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous, the ayes have it. Item B, noise variance, November 4th, 2023, for the entire day up to midnight for music and dancing.
Make a motion, we waive the noise ordinance,
You grant.
Grant.
You grant.
excuse me, the noise grant the noise variance for November, the entire night up to midnight.
Okay, we have a motion by.
I'll second it.
We have a motion by Councilperson Ritchie to waive the noise variance for the entire day up to midnight for music and dancing on
Right.
November 4th.
Grant.
I'm sorry?
Not wait, grant.
Grant.
Oh my bad. I was just.
Grant the
What you
noise
said.
variance.
So the next 3 are gonna be great.
I
Okay.
second it.
Yes, ma'am. Seconded by Councilperson Randall. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Item C, the use of additional electricity and water from November the 1st, 2023 through November the 4th, 2023.
I'll make the motion to allow them to use additional electricity and water from November 1st through the 4th.
A second.
Okay, let me read the motion first. I get you, trust me, but I'm just saying.
I wasn't getting through the meeting.
I'm trying to get in that habit.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, we have a motion by Debbie to grant the use of additional electricity and water, November the 1st through November the 4th.
A second.
Now we second. Seconded by Flipper. All in favor?
Aye.
The ayes have it. Motion granted. Item D, assistance in procuring an indemnification agreement for alcohol sales on city property. I wanted to discuss that. Cindy, you want to say anything?
Yeah, and for the record, Cindy Morales, current president of the Chamber of Commerce. We do get a policy through State Farm here every year for liability for the city, for the bank, and also for the school because of the parade lineup. And I have that policy that was just renewed, so it's $1 million, and we get it provided to the city, so we have that of record.
Awesome.
Who do you have for alcohol distribution?
No, I'm so sorry. Also in that one, I believe Ms. Dora.
State your name, please.
Liza Hill, Vice President,
You
Chamber
need
of
a letter
Commerce.
from us.
Yes, I need a letter stating that the chamber has permission to sell alcohol so we can receive our TABC permit. Our alcohol distributors are gonna be Silver Eagle and Frio.
Oh, okay, so we can't use any local
As far as
businesses.
who.
That's pretty much it.
Well,
Yeah.
I
The
think there's you
TABC
and-
permit is pulled in the Chamber of Commerce's name so that they can sell the alcohol. And really the profit of the alcohol sales supports, things throughout. It's our major fundraiser for the year, so it supports things throughout the year, such as the new banners that have been put up, salary for having a part-time employee and those sort of things. So we are relying upon that money. to
I think
be
he was
able-
asking if we could use local, but we can't buy from shops. You can't buy from shops.
I
You
thought-
have
I
to-
didn't know if you were maybe using your liquor license or,
No, no, no.
Can't.
It's a one day through the chamber.
The
It's what
liquor
they do
truck.
every year.
okay.
Yeah.
I'll make the motion to have Dora write up a letter giving approval for the city to allow the Chamber of Commerce to sell alcohol on November 4th.
All right, we have a motion by Debbie to instruct Dora Rodriguez to submit a letter to assist in procuring an indemnification agreement for alcohol sales on city property.
I'll second that.
We have a second by Michael Hernandez. All in favor?
Aye.
Ayes have it. Agenda item E, assistance in contacting the city's Republic Services account manager to request a 30-yard dumpster for use before, during, and after the Cactus Festival, as well as to request emptying of the 30-yard dumpster on Friday, November the 3rd, 2023, before the main event begins.
Okay, we normally they normally provide, the eight cubic dumpsters.
Okay.
I think they do like, I wanna say in the past, I think they've done 3.
And they weren't in that last year.
They weren't, so
Well-
they've done any more than 3, they don't do the roll-offs.
They don't do the roll-offs. If we could get 3, and I just want to speak briefly to that, Dora's always helped us with that. What happened last year was we didn't have full communication that the carnival needed a dumpster. And so we didn't have enough. So note to self, that's why we're asking for more, because what happened is the carnival started putting all their trash in the library dumpster, so I had to go buy a lock and lock it. So then they went down and they started filling in a personal one of a building I manage, and then Bonnie Manning's. So that was one thing that we wanted to resolve. A problem from last year for this year is just to have a dumpster for the carnival, which is Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And we do get 10% and that of their proceeds, and that helps underwrite the festival. But just the trash from that day and also the carnival.
So do y'all want 4 then?
4 would be wonderful.
Would you folks be willing to,
The company from here, from Devine, that has a.
WC?
We don't do, I mean, we get a hold of the public and they normally do it
Oh,
as
okay.
They usually
as
just,
So
Okay.
would
No,
you
I'm
folks,
good. I'm good.
okay, well, would you folks be willing to investigate a local company as well?
Well, we
Is
have a contract with
Oh, I know.
Republic that we will not bring in
Yeah.
other, and this is gonna be done on city property. We can't do that, Josh.
And they normally do it at no cost.
Yeah,
They've
I'm
done
in.
it at no cost.
yeah, it's a
Please
donation.
provide feedback on their service, because their contract has been a hot topic of
Sure, be
discussion.
happy to.
Can we still get it done?
So do we need a motion
When
for
do y'all
Dora
need
to
the
do
dumpster?
4
We
then?
need it starting Friday
That's what she
morning.
said.
Friday morning?
No, Thursday.
We need
Sorry.
Thursday.
Sorry.
Okay,
Forgot about that.
I'll make a motion to have Dora order 4, is it just 4
Dumpster.
dumpsters, for the Cactus Festival for the Chamber of Commerce to be delivered on Thursday.
November
And they usually pick them up on Monday.
Yes.
Okay, the Thursday before the event, how's that?
Thursday morning.
Thursday morning, drop them. Friday morning, pick that before we start the whole, to dump them Friday morning before we start the whole shebang, because last year there was trash everywhere. We don't want that to happen.
I'll probably call one of y'all before I call
Sure.
them, just to make sure that we get everything straight.
Thank you.
100%.
Okay, the motion by Debbie instructs the city to request 4 30-yard dumpsters for use before, during, and after the Cactus Festival, as well as to request emptying the dumpster before the main event begins.
I second that.
Second by Michael Hernandez. All in favor?
Aye.
Ayes have it. That part passes. Now, we probably could have lumped these all together, but when I was reviewing it, I really felt like there's probably some discussion that needs to be had.
100%.
Okay,
That's why we're here.
so bear with us, we'll get through it. Agenda item F, under agenda item 11F. Assistance with setup of all needed Cactus Festival items to include safety fencing set up on Wednesday, November the 1st, barricades set and area patrolled by Devine Police for compliance for College Avenue and Bright Street closures beginning on Friday, November the 3rd at 5 p.m. due to vehicles parked overnight prior to the event. The drink booth and ticket stand. And lastly, any additional items located in the chamber storage building.
We normally help.
So just very quick,
Yes, ma'am.
I can't thank the city enough for doing this, because literally, there's 5 women here.
Here we go.
It's all women. It's all women. And last year, Robin, he just did a wonderful job. They get everything down here. They help us. And so that's just work. We have a storage building out across from the high school, and they just bring everything, and then they help us take everything back. So that's why I think Laura just kind of itemized all of this, so y'all would be knowledgeable of everything that the city workers help us with.
Quick question, since Tom's on here, by the way, I don't know if everybody knew he's very sick at home. He is available with text messaging if absolutely necessary. Can we just make the motion, whoever makes the motion say, I make the motion for agenda item 11F, and then you have all the wording there?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll make that motion for item 11F.
There you go.
To allow all of it.
Okay, we have a motion by Debbie, for item 11F.
Second.
And we have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Ayes have it unanimously. Flipper? All right. Agenda item 11G is in George, requesting assistance in handling road closures for the parade route. This is pretty customary, is it
Yeah,
not?
Public Works helps with
Okay.
area.
Any questions from anyone? Here we go. Go ahead, Josh.
Make a motion, we have city employees assist in handling road closures for the parade route.
I'll second it.
We have a motion by Josh for agenda item 11G. I was about to read it, and I said, oh, wait, I gotta say something else. All right, and then seconded by Debbie for agenda item 11G. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. 11H, permission for the Devine Police Department to do a letter to TxDOT, letting them know of all the street closures and that our police department will be responsible for the traffic control.
And they do this every year.
Every year.
Yeah.
This is
Costs
also.
a
I'll
lot
make that
overtime.
Motion by Debbie for item 11H to approve.
Second.
Second by Flipper. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Okay. Agenda item 11A. Request funds from city hotel tax to go towards the annual festival in the amount of $5,000.
Aye.
Debbie?
You said A, yeah,
Aye.
it's I.
Aye.
I was like,
Oh, I said A.
You tired?
Okay, my bad. Agenda item 11I.
Bless you.
Okay, request funds from city hotel tax to go towards the annual festival in the amount of $5,000.
All right, I got questions.
That's what I'm here.
That looks like you're about to dive into it. Go ahead.
Okay, so we did not ask for any money last year, so I wanted to preface with that. But I wanted to tell you a little bit about, real quick, about the budgeting and how much it costs to put this festival on. And the chamber does it, it's a fundraiser, but it's not the main reason the chamber is here. We're here to promote our community, shop local, think local, and we started a lot with that. But it's been a tradition that the chamber hosts this festival. This is the 62nd year we've done it. We could not do it without the city. In years past, the city has given chambers the hotel motel tax. Sometimes it's $1,000. It's been up to $10,000. That would help offset the festival. Just the stage this year is $4,100. We have $9,400 of entertainment. We have parade cost of $300 to $500. The purchase of the beer and sodas up to $5,000. Advertising about $2,000. The porta potties cost about $2,500 to $3,000. We have cleanup crews. We pay $1,000 to do, and also administration fees. So that's almost $26,000. We rely on sponsorships. Last year we had about $5,000. We had Medina Electric Co-op. We had several businesses here in Devine that are so generous because they get hit up for everything. And they support our schools, our sports, and we are very grateful that they help with this. So currently we have about $2,000 in pledges. We're hoping more come. Heather, as our new administrative assistant, which we hired, we are salarying her at $1,200 a month. We have not had anybody employed in the chamber for a long time. We're trying to change that to promote our community. She has worked very diligently. We have $7,100 in so far for booth fees. So that's about $9,100 that we have in. So right now, with what we have budgeted, before the festival starts, without more donations, we're at a $17,000 negative. So the way we make money at the festival is we get 10% proceeds of the carnival, which we don't know what that is. It's usually 3,000 to 4,000, we're at the mercy of the weather. Also sponsorships, the beer and soda sales all go to the chamber. And also the booth spaces. So last year we made almost 10,000, I believe, plus or minus. And that we have already started earmarking back into the city, the promotion of the city, the shop, the Think Local, Shop Local, or Think Devine, Shop Devine, Dine Devine. We've come up with those, the signage, the sign out here. We've hired Heather. We're doing a lot of promotions on Facebook. Also the banners, the Welcome to Devine banners that we purchased and gave to the city, and Pete and his crew graciously put them up. There were 24 banners purchased. That was between $2,500 and $3,000 we spent on that. Our plan is we are going to buy the city new Christmas banners. And there's 24 up right now. We don't like that there's not a whole lot of them, so we've planned, and I've talked to Pete, we're gonna do 34 because we want more up. So we will purchase those Christmas banners and we will gift them to the city to put up. We also are gonna do some Think Local banners that will go up, and then we also are gonna do some banners that are patriotic, that are here through Memorial and 4th of July. So our plan is, with working with the city, to have some type of signage welcoming up in our city all the time. We also are gonna get some maps that we're gonna have distributed. We're coming up with a template for that that's gonna work in all the murals that we've started. Some of the historical committee, we also help sponsor the historical committee. So I just wanted y'all to know, as we come in asking, it's not like we're gonna sit on the money and be a savings and loan. We plan on putting that right back into promoting businesses, shopping local, thinking local. So whatever hotel motel tax that you grant us tonight, if so, will go to offset this, because this is the only fundraiser we do that helps us promote Devine. So Josh, I'll take your question.
Let me start with all the niceties. I appreciate you ladies being throughout the community. You and Liza are the biggest driving force of business in this community. Liza, you've come in here and you've got 3 businesses now doing amazing work. Heather, you're plugged into every organization throughout here, hustling with your own business. Nancy, you spend so much time pouring yourself into this community. I genuinely appreciate that. However, the one question I have, and it's driven by, we spent a lot of money helping put up this decoration with city employee time, and we spend a lot of time with overtime for our police department, which end of the year, then that costs a lot. So what are you folks doing specifically for business more than banners? Banners, signs, and a parade.
Can I interject something before kind of do that? One thing we have to look at is for this fall festival, this is the largest community event that we have. It's a tradition, and it's more to it than just us having a fundraiser. If we wanted to raise $10,000, Chamber of Commerce could put on, we could have a raffle, we could even do a golf tournament, like that, and do these things. It's something, it's not the chamber putting it on. It's the city, the whole community of Devine. We're doing this for the community. What else besides the night out, the National Night Out, which is a national thing, what other event is there in our community?
Well, I think,
it's
those
so.
are great points, and I think, he's just asking,
Sure,
when
but-
people come to Devine for the fall festival, they spend money a lot of places.
Right.
Besides,
Right, not just here on the grounds.
Right.
So,
And two, but I just want, because there's times in the last several years I've worked with the chamber, and I've come to some meetings and I've listened, and it's like, I'm not saying it's you or anybody else, because I know that you get it. We've got to have I know y'all get all of this, but there are times that comments come up that it's like y'all and us, or us and whatever you want to say, but we're all in this together. We've taken our children there, and you take the children to the thing, And it's such an important thing for our community to have that, the people around come to it. You bring people in, not just for the businesses. And, you know, I don't have a business, so, and I've told them before, I said, I see things differently. I bring in the historical part, trying to do the research part, but like, we're all volunteers. Y'all have volunteered, y'all do so much of it. There's so much of it that we do for the chamber to not pay for anything, and it comes out of our pockets. Totally do willingly for the community, because, and I know that y'all are all into what can we do to improve our community.
So I'm gonna say this.
Okay.
We is a big word. We is a big word. So we're only as strong as our weakest link, and you're looking at about 90% of every one of our meetings. We have a lot of members that pay their dues, but they don't come to the meetings and they don't help. And, you know,
And then
I sell real estate. Does the Fall Festival help me sell real estate? No, probably not. But it celebrates our community. And this is one of the biggest city festivals, Honolulu City Festival. Castroville, I mean, we do a huge city festival. We couldn't do it without y'all. We couldn't. And there are times, let me tell you, we're out here at midnight picking up trash, you know, away from our families, or, you know, working the parade at 6 o'clock in the morning. And everyone thinks this just happens. It's a lot of work. And it does. It over half our meetings of the year, it's planning the festival. And our dream is to get more people involved to where this festival is a subcommittee of the chamber. It is a fundraiser because we don't get that hotel motel tax every year. So we have to work off the profit of the festival. And if it rains, we're gonna be at a loss. So back to your question, Josh, there's a lot of things we wanna do to help continue to promote Devine. Yes, the banners, the mural drive, having these, we're a spread out city. We're trying to figure out how to get people here. We have a lot of great businesses here, but we don't have a town square. We don't have a main strip. So some of this map that we're talking about, and we have a few more businesses that are getting these murals, and we're gonna have stopping points. And so we wanna spread that on social media. Hey, come to Devine, opportunities for pictures. Look at all these amazing businesses. And then we have a lot more Facebook presence because Heather's done such a great job of promoting. And when we have businesses that need employees or help, or they're having specials or Devine Acres, we help share all that and thread that. But we's a big word. I mean, I wish we had 50 people in the chamber and we would all have these, you know, all kinds of wonderful ideas. But we have to work with what we have. So that's my answer.
I disagree with anything that you've said up there. I would say it's more of a request. See what activities you folks can do for businesses. Because
Sure.
the number one piece of feedback I get is, why is there so much a connection with the chamber when, what are they doing for businesses other than putting a name on a marquee? And see how we can get back to Uday, because that is our only source for hotel motel tax money.
Sure.
Other than that,
Well, I do
agree.
think there has to be something said that we're estimating that this brings 6,000 people to the community.
Right.
It's beyond Devine residents. When we did the music lineup, we tried to tap into local artists in Medina County so that we were drawing in the additional crowd, because we don't have a full singular lineup that's just out of Devine, right? We're blessed with all this musical talent in the county. And so we have Hondo represented in Castroville so that we can try and bring people that don't necessarily come through Devine every single day. Part of our goal for utilizing this money is to go into advertisements that might, you know, be able to tap into the San Antonio market to expand the reach of Devine, because the local businesses do rely on, you know, the Devine Acres that is doing a phenomenal job. They're getting nods in San Antonio, and they're getting, I don't know how many people we'd have
Right.
to check in, but hundreds that are coming in, and when they do, hopefully
They'll
they're
stop at the
dining,
places.
they're looking into the golf course, they're doing all of these things that for the business community, this is such an undertaking for a small group. And so that is our goal, is that is tapping into the businesses and continuing the mission of what we're doing.
And it's interesting you say that, because as a non-business person, that I'm glad in the last number of years that they let individuals that don't have businesses be represented. But that I've heard other, when y'all were talking different things and other businesses, what are you gonna do for me? And it's like, I don't know, I guess I don't look at things that way when you join something, you know, if you're a member, okay, what are you gonna do for me? And yet, we have meetings.
Yeah.
And they're advertised, they've had coffees and things like that, but you can't get people to come. And like, you know more than, you've heard more tonight than the member, because other members don't come, so they don't know.
Right.
Right, and that's, okay, everybody, you interject.
Sure.
Guys, I thought that was a wonderful answer to Josh's question, okay, and I will say, I'll go on the record that you guys, and I know Debbie's involved, and stuff,
Very
but
involved.
you guys are very active, very aggressive, lots of energy, okay, and you're doing a wonderful job, and I can't say anything about prior with all that. I've been involved in the chamber, all this and that, but, I mean, y'all got it going, okay?
Right.
Well, and
Y'all doing a great job.
I do want to say Debbie has been wonderful attending our meetings,
She's
because
always there.
we've got to have a network with the city,
Right.
and it's so critical. So we're asking, then
So anyway,
we're just asking for, and we're going to put it to work. So
Right.
it's totally up to y'all.
Okay, we have a request to put $5,000 from the hotel tax to go to Chamber of Commerce to assist with the annual festival.
I'll make that motion. We grant $5,000 of hot money to the Chamber of Commerce for the 2023 tax festival.
And amend the budget.
And amend the budget. Good
I'll
catch.
second that.
All right, the motion was by Josh, that we grant a request for $5,000 to the Chamber of Commerce for the annual festival, drawn from the city hotel tax, and to amend the budget likewise. Did we have a second?
I said it. I did it.
Okay, we have a second by Debbie. Any further discussion, guys?
No.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes.
Thank y'all very much.
Thank you all very
Thank you all
much.
very
Have a
much.
nice evening.
And thank you again for all the work that you guys do. All right, agenda item number 12, moving along. Consider and act upon a request from Steve Smith of the Devine Markets Association to sponsor one of the Four Corners this year.
Hey, Butch, can we take a quick break after this item?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
After?
Water's calling. Hi, everybody. I'm Steve Smith. I'm the director for the Devine Markets Association. Those of you who don't know me, it's we got two newer city council members who I don't know. We're requesting to sponsor one of the Four Corners for marketing of the city, but also our producers, most importantly. That's who we work for. And so if you don't know, the Devine Markets Association is a 501c3 nonprofit, another one we have here in town, and we run the market that's here on the first Saturday, and we also run one that's up in Hondo, and we'll be taking time off in Hondo until I think January because of all the holiday festivals and everything else. The one time a year we do not do it is the first Saturday of November, because we get the chamber to do a great job in making it. So the next festival, we really appreciate that. So our intent with this is to promote our producers, like I said, and also the city. We're focused on helping folks to realize that starting a small business is really valuable to the community and to themselves. They can get out there, do a little hustle, and see if they can serve the community more, and then turn that money right back into both the commerce within the community, but also for tax base for some of the businesses that are in there. We have food, we have craft, we have decor, we have personal products. Really, if you're shopping at Walmart, look to your neighbors first. So that's what we ask. Start with your neighbors, because the money stays here. It doesn't go to Arkansas. So with that, we want to be able to further promote, like I said, our community and our folks, our producers. And one of the ways we'd like to do that is through sponsoring one of the corners right down here for seasonal decorations, that type of thing.
So you want it just for Christmas, or you're
No,
asking for the
year
whole
round.
year?
Year round. So we would do, you know, springtime, whatever, if there's an additional schedule. I think it's something that's really missing as you come in here. Yeah, we do a kind of a good job with Christmas, but we don't talk about things like the summer, you know, that's the changing season. So it's something we would do, and we would be funding this ourselves completely. We're not asking for anything from the city. And then our members would be, we have, like for instance, we have one of our members does painted yard decor type of things, you know, and we would ask her to do some of that work, or they need a landscaping would go on. It would all be done by our folks, and nothing from the city. We just want to be able to promote.
So have you talked to the garden club about this yet?
Well, that's what we're asking for, is one of the corners. I understood that one of the corners came available, and that's what we're asking for.
Oh, we were talking about Christmas. When we were talking about the four corners, I think the last meeting, we were
Yeah.
talking about Christmas only, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay, good, because I'm like, that's what I remember.
No.
Yeah, I guess would
Well,
there
I
be
think
any
we're talking
reason to not do
Thanksgiving,
it
too.
year round?
Well, we normally, I know in the last 2 years, we put up just the weekend before Thanksgiving, we put them all up. That way we can have the whole season, like the whole season.
November.
But, so you're asking though for the whole,
Yeah, that's my question, is why would there be, you know, is there any reason to not do that?
because the garden club takes care of all four corners.
Sure.
And I don't know, Dora, is there a contract with TxDOT on that? With the garden club? I mean, I know we don't have one, but
We own water lines in there though, yeah? The irrigation.
Sprinklers, yeah, there's sprinklers there.
We looked this up,
Yeah, I
just
don't,
3 or 4 weeks ago. TxDOT owns the property. The city essentially has the right to, you know, the city maintains it as far as the grass and all that.
we have an agreement with Texas.
There's an agreement with the Devine Garden Club that they can enhance and beautify the four corners. Okay, so that's pretty much what it is in place. So that being said, I too, when I saw the request, I thought you were referring to the holiday season.
We could do the holiday season, and we'd be glad to, but I don't see why it would be a great, in my mind, it would be just another thing to enhance the city. As you're coming down the hill, you come across there, or any of the four directions you're coming in, is just to start seeing those things. So there's life. We're looking for life, and really that's what we're hoping.
Could we give you the corner in front of the old fried chicken gas station, and no longer serve fried chicken across from churches? That's one that needs the most dressing up.
You mean, is that Scoots? Is that right?
No, it's
No,
across
the
from
black,
Pico's.
the black goes at, right?
the old Picos.
Oh, the one on this side?
Yeah.
Whatever. We're happy. We just want to be able to contribute to the community.
Do
And
we
at the same
have
time-
the authority to okay this? Is my
I
question.
think we have to have the garden clubs okay.
Actually, we do. I'm not saying that we need to. But I'm pretty sure that the city can do this because granted by TxDOT. But the garden club does a wonderful job on their landscaping there, and they do it year round. They're very diligent. You know, and they take a lot of pride in what they do there. So I will say this on a permanent basis, that's going to be, we're going to get some, that's kind of tough. It's a great idea. So
We don't even appoint the garden club. It's just a thing that sort of exists. I mean, they do a great job. I'll give
well,
you
there's
that.
paperwork.
There's paperwork.
There is paperwork.
Who's on this board?
Huh?
Who's on this board?
There's quite a few ladies over
Oh
there.
my God, I think there's like
Been there
30
for a
of
long
them.
The
The
garden club?
clubs?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're huge.
They've been in existence since
I'm
1910.
not debating it. I know it's on the city website. I saw a few names that I recognize, but we don't even appoint anything to that board. How's it a real board if we don't even appoint anybody?
Well, what we could do is say oops.
The garden club is not a city entity.
We're okay with
It's
them
its own
taking
thing
a
that we
corner.
have, I guess, a contract with.
But
That's what they're saying.
did I turn it off?
Oh, it's on, okay.
I don't care if they take a corner like Scoots. I mean, I'm fine with that. But I think they need to talk to the garden club if they want it for the whole year. Now, if they want it just for Christmas, then that's a whole different issue. I personally think you need to talk to the ladies at the garden club. if you want to be able to walk correctly.
I just don't want to turn this into a power struggle if it becomes a them problem, because I'm positive there are going to be politics associated with this. If it's existed since 1970 and it's the same people,
Well, I don't know if it's the same people,
I'm
but
sure some of
it
them
could very well be all you need to do is say, hey, I'm gonna take care of this corner, and you're not gonna need to. But, cause I know the city already mows and edges,
Yeah,
but,
if that's what you say and that's what you like, great, no problem. We'll talk to them, fine. And if they say, well, we really like that, then we'll come back and go, okay, well, we just like to do it in Christmas. But ultimately, it's your decision on it. And if that's the direction you want me to run with it, I'll go with it. I don't care.
Steve, I think that's a great idea.
Just to go talk to them.
Yes, sir.
Now, how do we then come back to this? Then
How about-
I guess we take it one step at a time. A lot of those ladies have been there for a long.
We're counting down to Christmas.
Told ya.
Be okay first.
yeah, I would say, have a chat with
We're
them.
just coming close on Christmas. That's all.
Yes,
And if
because we
production
need to
all
get
of
it
a
done
sudden
by November, Thanksgiving is kinda when we'd like to put them up. I know that's when we put them up, but a phone call to her would be just wonderful.
Who's the
Oh,
president?
yeah.
The present, what is her name, Dora? Miriam.
Miriam Garcia.
Oh, no, we've talked before.
So
Yeah,
give her a
she
call,
She came in the market.
and if she says she's fine with that,
Yeah. Can we,
Then
can we,
come
can
back.
we back up there? What's that?
Can I just ask? a
Yeah, go
question?
ahead.
Are you wanting to have it year round, have stuff all the time?
Yeah.
Or, well, like the garden club does, because the chambers talked about it, they do a beautiful job at Easter. They do another beautiful job for, 4th of July. They also decorate beautifully for the, fall festival, and then they do Christmas. So are you thinking seasonal, or are you thinking you want something up there all the time?
Seasonal is what we're looking at. And I think that.
That's how I took this.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I'm not saying we're putting a sign up there every day of the week. No,
Yeah.
we want to do some seasonal something with it.
okay.
Easter, Memorial Day.
Like they do the shell, like
Veterans
Garden
Day.
Club does the shell.
Hey, great recovery.
Ah.
Like the banners that we are potentially going to
Yes.
give back to the city, they're gonna be in
Every quarter.
there's gonna be something.
Okay,
I hope you coordinate
okay,
with the garden
seasonal,
club.
but I still think you need to talk to Miriam first.
Yes. Okay, fine. I'm okay with, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. I have a motion to make, so.
You what?
I have a motion to make that I think
So
people will-
barring that now, is there any other, I guess, from the city? So when I go and talk to Marion, is there gonna be any opposition from the city, or is this something that I can then go forward and say, hey, I brought it to them, they said they're okay, but it's up to you.
And which corner are you want to do?
Anyone.
Whichever one they're gonna give me.
I don't think you need a motion.
Well, I have found it's best to tell them
If you want
which
to.
one.
You what?
In my experience, it was always best to tell them which one you wanted than to let them decide. That's just from my experience, because I've had to do it for a few years.
My sense, I honestly, my sense with that is if they're, the chamber has a corner. I know the city was doing one, and then for the holidays. So, and it's very similar, in a similar vein. I'm not here to tell anybody what we want. I'm here to ask them for their permission.
Would it be Scoots?
Yeah.
So,
That's the one.
when you talk to her, say you would like to do Scoots
Okay, fine.
seasonally,
Yeah.
then that takes care of it. Trust me.
I think that would be great all right, if your association and the garden club can work together, hopefully, join forces, whatever, just to enhance.
What we're supposed to do, yeah.
I think that would be great.
But, okay, that's, again, I come back to, with the council's permission, we'll go forward and make those kind of, have those discussions.
Yeah, I wouldn't even think you would need our permission, just to go talk with them.
As long as they say yes, then we'll never hear about it. If they say no, we will hear about it.
I just do not want to run across another situation where someone said to talk to someone who then directed an activity, and then it comes back to the city having to pay for something.
Yeah.
I would really like us as the council to say and vote and document.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
So I will make a motion that we grant the Devine Market Association the corner connected to Scoots, adjacent to Scoots gas station drive-through for the holiday season starting 1 week before Thanksgiving and ending 1 week after New Year's for decoration, and moving forward in coordination after that with the garden club. Good.
They're gonna get a
That's
season
seasonal.
from Garden.
Seasonal.
In coordination with.
All right, who wants it like?
And also
That
in coordination with.
includes
Okay.
in coordination with
All right.
them, yeah,
This has to work together.
yeah.
Okay, we have a motion from Josh. To grant one corner to the Devine Markets Association for the holiday season from Thanksgiving through Christmas. And then from that point to, repeat that please?
A week before Thanksgiving and a week after New Year's to decorate, and then
Okay.
moving forward in coordination with the garden club.
All right, and then moving forward in coordination with the garden club.
I'll second that.
All right, we have a second by Michael. I'm letting know it right.
We got it.
All are good. Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Ayes have it. Motion
Will you
passes.
decorate our parade float for us?
What's that?
Oh.
He's like, oh,
Oh,
gotta go
oh, get over it.
Oh, no, we got a better float, so we're good.
Oh,
Thanks, guys.
dang.
And it's 1947, not 1970s. that they've been
Yeah,
around.
they've been gone.
None of us were
Okay,
alive at that point.
It was a long time ago.
All right, we've been sitting here a good while. We're going to take hopefully a 5-minute break. Roar, hang in there. We'll get you soon to come back. Okay. My time, 8 o'clock. All in yours.
I just turned it on.
Okay, I'd like to call this meeting back to order. Yes, ma'am. My time is 8:10. 8:10, we're back in session. All right, we'll have to offer agenda item number 13, which is consider and act upon the contract of the Devine Little League Association and requested by myself. So we've had a contract with them for a long time, and it normally gets renewed every year. They pay us $1 and on down the line. And I was reviewing the contract, and I've also spoken with a couple neighbors over there. We own everything, okay? The city of Devine owns the property, we own everything, okay? Unless it's removable from there, that they have, like for equipment and so forth. And it's my opinion that we should be responsible to maintain those grounds a little bit better. Right now, the current agreement states that the Little League Association takes care of the stuff inside the fences of the ballparks, and the city takes care of outside, the right-of-ways, and so forth. What I would like to see would be that the Little League takes care of inside the fences during its season only. And the reason why they have to do it is because you got mounts to manicure, face pass, and on down the line. Okay, but what happens is when their season is over, okay, it's the nature of the beast. I was president of the league 5 years. I've been down there forever. It's strictly volunteer association. They literally don't have the manpower to take care of it year round. Okay, that's number one. And then if we're already sending a crew over there to weed eat the fence on one side, it doesn't make sense to leave foot tall grass on the other side. Okay, that's number one. I think Debbie made a comment once, I don't know, a few weeks back or whatever, when we were talking about the brush and the golf course, about it's the city's property and we have an obligation. If we want the citizens to perform our ordinances and such, then we have to do the same. Right? Right, and plus there's grass that grows in the street, there's dirt that compiles in the gutter on Moore Avenue, the list goes on. Okay, I'm sure y'all get the gist of that. And Pete, I know you got a lot of work to do, but I don't think it'll be too much more. Okay? What I would like to see would be that since we own it, and that it would be part of our Parks and Rec program. Okay? Because it's the same thing, it's the same exact thing, right? And then the Little League has control over it during the season, and when that season is over, it should be opened up for other folks to use it. If kids want to come play ball, they can. I was talking to Laura earlier today about sometimes people want to come in and rent the field, you know, like for select baseball teams, like Little League team, what have you, sometimes. But anyway, I just think it's our obligation to try and have it open as much as possible so people can actually use the facility all year round. Go ahead, Josh.
I would like to see it open. I'd like to see it open up for Devine Youth Sports, if we can do that. And that might be a question I have to ask Tom, but it seems since the baseball folks can use it, I don't know why DYS couldn't. Specifically, I'd like to see them configure that a little bit more, not change anything, but configure lines to offer soccer. That is the one sport nobody in Devine's willing to offer because it conflicts with too many other sports. But
Well, they play soccer. They're about to start soccer.
Yeah, they're
oh, I know.
starting to start.
I trust me. I've had this conversation ample times.
Right. Well, that's the point I'm trying to make. Okay, so by deed or whatever, it isn't, okay, the Little League has control over it during this season. Okay, so if you were to have another organization, that's completely up to them. If they want to work something out, you know, you have other people using your field, all this and that, it might be kind of difficult because of scheduling and all that. So that's, all right, in my opinion, that would have to be between the Little League Association and DYS. However, let's just say DYS wants to have a fall softball league, right? Great, bring it on, it'd be wonderful. Let them, okay? That's what it's for. That's why the field is there, so kids can play, families can play. Heck, I remember one year, my wife's family had a reunion of some sort where I went down there and played kickball, you know, so things like that.
I'm not opposed to that. I don't want this to turn into, it's not called the Garden Club, but an organization which wants to exercise power and control over something, and they say maybe you can't use this because we just don't like you or this thing. I want to make sure that it's available for the entirety of the community.
Well, that's what I just said. Only
Okay.
during its season.
Well, it sounded like you're saying that softball group or baseball group would have control over it, over scheduling and whatnot.
Only during the season.
During its season.
During specific dates.
During
then.
its
Okay.
season only.
And then could we reach out to Langford to request some, see if they have any grants for upgrading, fixing the facilities and whatnot for
Well,
youth
that'd be the
sports?
Parks and Rec Board.
What was that, Debbie? I'm sorry.
That would be the Parks and Rec Board would be
Right.
responsible to do that.
That's why I would like
But
to be under the Parks and Rec.
I have just to interject a little bit, there was a year, and I think it was, could have been the pandemic year, the 2020, I can't remember the exact year, that hi neighbor, that the Little League requested us to only do the outside of the fence, okay? They requested that. And that, when we said, well, we would do the inside on their off season, like we were willing to do that, so that others could use the field.
Yeah.
And we got a little bit of pushback, not from Aurora, but from other people at the Little League board. They didn't want to, quote, share it with anyone. And I don't know, Dora, you remember that, don't you? So that's why they kept the contract the way it reads now, that we're
Right.
outside, they're inside, like
Exactly.
blah, blah, blah.
Exactly.
So, I mean,
Like
if they're
it's-
willing to go that route, that's fine.
Yeah,
I don't have a problem with that at all.
so. I agree. Hi, Rory, announce yourself, please.
Laura Hernandez, I don't know if this thing.
It should be, you just gotta have it
talk
right in
about
front of your mouth. You don't have to be right next to it, but just kind of direct it towards you.
Divine Little League, I am the
Okay.
president for today. So I've been the president for the last 3 years, but tomorrow is our new season election. So basically we elect our elected board tomorrow. And so as of tomorrow, it may be somebody else. But as far as what Josh was saying, we're open to just give it to us for our season. We're okay with that, but it's maintaining. So if I leave the bathrooms open now, they're trashed by tomorrow. So I lock them every night and I don't open them for anybody until our season starts. And after every night, I go back and lock them and we clean them, not the city. Our lights, Last year, for our last fiscal year, we did about $7,000 in lights. So
For
they turn
electric?
on- For electric.
Okay.
And so we only actually use electric for February, March, April, May, June. We have 5 months of electric. Everything else, it's still open. We can turn on if we need, but we actually only use our big lights for those months, for night games, and that's it. Now, would I let DISA want to turn them on at night? Not if they're not going to want to pay for it. Because we are a nonprofit as well. DISA is profit. I don't know if you know, but they're profit. They have bank. We can't have a big bank. So that's one thing. The bathrooms, the facilities, we maintain, we pick up trash, we do all that. It's a city park, yes, but it is not run by the city. Now the city does come and help. We had a water leak last year and the city was there within less than an hour and they were there fixing what they needed to fix. And so they do come and help when I do call. We try our hardest not to call, only because I don't want any backlash from the city saying, hey, well, you get this for $1. You need to pay for it. So the one thing we have right now is there is a huge water leak somewhere. We believe there's probably 2. We can never find where it's at. We don't have the means to send someone to go look for it, because when I asked a landscaper, they told me, okay, it can be anywhere from 200 to 20,000. So depending on where we find it, we'll let you know it. I was like, never mind, we're good. We'll turn off the water as needed, and then we'll just have the city turn it on during our season.
Right.
So that's where we're at now.
Right. Okay, to address that, because you and I discussed it a little bit.
Yes.
So for example, if it's part of our Parks and Rec, right? So if somebody wants to turn the lights on, they would have to go through the city in the off season, not the Little League. It needs to be separated from them. They don't need to be responsible for that, okay? So we would devise a fee schedule and what have you, that whoever is requesting the lights, of course during the daytime, it should cost nothing, okay? Right, then that's what they would have to pay, and that would supplement the, because the electric doesn't get turned off, it stays on year round.
It stays on all year round.
Right, so it's still gonna be under their umbrella, okay? So that would take care of that problem. Okay, and the other part is, once again, the infrastructure belongs to us, that the building, which used to be the old library, belongs to us. You know, right now it's got a busted window. You know, it's been boarded up for a couple of years, and those kind of things. Those are things that I think the city should be responsible for, because you have revolving leadership at the Little League. It's a different group of people every year, right? So it's one of these things where it belongs to nobody, but it belongs to everybody as far as the Little League. Okay, I think most of y'all are aware of that, how the league works and such. So I think I think we can handle those issues. Now, regarding the bathrooms and all that, to me, it should be exactly the same way we do over there on Colonial, Winnie Knoll Park. Okay, the same way back over here. Whatever you guys do with the restrooms, if you lock them up at night, we would do the same way. Oh, that's okay. Yeah, we need to get some one of these days, right? So, but anyway, it would just be treated the same, because it should be, to me. And then it also should be very presentable for folks that live in the neighborhood. Okay, we should clean the gutters. It's our right of way. That's our property, right? We should get grass out of the street. And right now, I guess we can't spray herbicide, right? But, you know, things like that. And I know Aurora was open to it, but of course, you know, we can't expect them to leave the bathrooms open and clean them if they're not in their season. So if we clean the bathrooms over there, then I think we should do the same there in their off season.
I'm personally willing to add any more services to the city, but I would be happy to make a motion that we submit this to Parks and Rec for the use of the property. However, leave it up to the discretion of the softball association as to the use and rental schedule of the facilities and utilities.
I don't understand that.
So basically, they get to control the water, they get to control the bathrooms, the building, because those are the things they have to pay to maintain. They have to pull in a lot of volunteers for that stuff. That way, no one else running up their water bill and electric bill. Come on up.
Okay, we do have a motion. Okay, right, we do have a motion. Okay, now we have discussion. I would have to disagree with that for the main reason is that once again, they have revolving leadership, right? They will not have the ways and means to do that in the off season. Okay, so for example, the way the Little League works, at the beginning of the year in February, everybody's just all fired up. Okay, you'll have parents all over the place doing everything for you. You got T-ball kids that are 4 years old, and as you well know, when they get older, the parents are less involved. Okay, but they play about probably four to 5 weeks, and then they're gone. Then you got Coach Fitch. Same thing happens. You've lost all this volunteer group, and then when Coach Fitch is over, they're gone, right? And then when the minor leagues, which is 9 and 10 years old, the same thing happens. And then you get into the vacation season, all right? And then before you know it, at the end of the year, the board, who is also just kind of like the chamber, right? They're on the board, but they do all the work, right? So they're exhausted, right? So that's why we can't ask them to do that, because then it just won't work.
They don't have the manpower for off-season.
Right.
I had 5 active board members last year.
See?
I was at 99% of my games.
I would ask, if you had to compare the bathrooms up at Briscoe Park to the bathrooms at the Little League field, would you say yours are about the same, significantly better, or significantly worse?
Kind of looks like an outhouse.
Sure
Depends
does.
on which
that's
one
the
you're
old one.
looking at.
That's the old one.
Yes, because we do have 2 sets of bathrooms. Now we have our single bathrooms that the doors are open, they've been broken, there's one restroom's missing a toilet. That building needs to be shut completely. There shouldn't be anything there. Board everything up, leave one main entrance, turn off all the water. I have a toilet for that bathroom, but I don't have a lock and I don't have a new door. I don't have the manpower to put that in. I may get the funds, I can get someone to donate something for it, but the manpower is what we don't have to do those things. And so that bathroom is completely messed. It looks like homeless people have lived through there for years. And I'm saying that because when I go clean it, I clean the bathrooms. When I go clean them, I do find syringes. So that's why I say that. Now the bathrooms I can lock, they're not as upkeep as the other ones. I clean them after every night. I actually spread them down once a week, but they're still not the best.
Well, that wasn't a jab at all. That was I don't think you folks have the manpower, and I don't want to put more stuff on Pete's plate to clean bathrooms. So I'd really like to can we keep those closed until a better solution presents itself?
I would prefer that. I would prefer to keep them closed if we cannot resolve something to keep them closed, because I'm not gonna clean because the city decided to open the park to everybody else.
Right.
Yeah, I'm on board with that. I mean, if they wanted the responsibility of DISA to come in and play ball there, DISA needs to pay them the money, like a rent, you know what I'm saying? So that way you could be more responsible, like, hey, we'll go turn off the lights, you pay us this much for the 2 days, Saturdays, Sundays, or whatever days they wanna do it. You know, cause like she said, they're nonprofit, so.
Well, that way,
you shouldn't charge them to rent the field. You can charge them for the utilities that they use.
yeah.
Right, and perhaps a small fee for bathroom usage because he uses water and such. But the main thing I would like to see is that it's just available. All the other stuff we can work out, okay, but you gotta have the go-ahead first to make it available. Pete, I know you got a lot to do, but, I mean, would it really be a stretch, to take care of the bathrooms and such over there? I mean, probably every so often is
Yeah,
all,
I'll open them so you can see them.
you know?
Let's go.
Probably need to look at.
I'm down a couple guys, but I think as soon as we get our positions filled, we'll be all right. I just don't know how we're gonna have to get meter readings and all that from the electrical. And so when your meter stops there, after you use it, then we have to read whoever comes in. I'm sorry.
Well, that's when you have.
How does that work?
Yeah, that's when you have a flat fee. For example, when they use the gym that we call the garden over there by the intermediate school, DYS pays a flat fee to the school for use of it. So we can come up with a fee structure that might be appropriate. If you use the lights, it's gonna be this much per hour or whatever you do. Okay, and of course, we don't give them a key to the light. Okay, we would turn it on, you know, or whatever, and control it that way. So this has been done very similar to a lot of places, okay, that you do it. And I don't think, you know, it's not gonna be like it's not gonna be like every night, week after week after week. you know, it'll just be on occasion. And I think it should be available if anyone wants to use it. Even if it's DYS on weekends, if it's not their season, they should have every right to use it. So, like I said, you don't think it'd be too much of a bother. And once again, if you're sending a crew over there already to do the fence lines and that, you might as well, you know. And then of course you get into the heat of the summer. That grass didn't grow this year, you know, after July, right? Okay, and then you get into the dormancy of the winter. So it's not like it's going to be a ton of work. Once you get it maintained and so forth, it should be a whole lot easier to me, so it seems.
So basically tonight, we're deciding if we're gonna just take care of the mowing and edging inside and out.
We can do that.
And then I would think, let Parks and Rec work with whoever the new president ends up being. It might be you, but I'm just saying, as she goes,
Very
oh.
happy. Very happy.
But whoever, let the Parks and Rec board work with them on how to go ahead and, like, it'll be available for people to use, but they can come up with the system of who to call to schedule it, or who to give the money to for electricity, who to, like all that stuff.
Okay, all right, well, we do have a motion, okay?
So what was your motion again?
Kind of like as Mike and I were discussing there, have the city maintain the grounds, the grass inside, make it available to the public, and push it over to Parks and Rec for the Baseball, Softball Association to coordinate with them on the use of the facilities and utilities.
So for off-season?
For off-season.
For off-season?
Right.
Okay. Oh, so I said the same thing, didn't I?
So they're able to use the clubhouse and everything else, they have access to the
Gotta have
concession
once a
stand,
day anyway.
or, that's what I'm
I
trying to figure
can
out.
give access to the concession stand, but it would literally just be the concession stand.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm
Because I
saying,
don't,
because I
so
got,
last year, I don't have manpower, we didn't have someone to run my concession, so
Yeah.
I subleased my concession, but I didn't get a dime from it. All they had to do was pay my umpire for the
Yeah.
night. Don't give Little League any money, because I don't wanna have to put it in my books, but you pay my umpire for the night. If he's umpiring 2 games, then your job is to pay him for the 2 games. And so that's how I did it last year, and that's what they paid, and I don't, from what he said he didn't make any money. He said because I had my umpire umpiring too many games on Saturday. So he would pay for the full Saturday. My umpire was there, he paid 1 full umpire, and then the Little League paid for a second if we needed one.
Okay, once again, we still have a motion, and I guess it's pretty simple right now, as far as just the city's going to maintain the grounds, the entire grounds in the off-season. Okay? Isn't that kind of what you said? In their off-season?
The grass. Doors indicating something at me.
Yeah, so y'all will need to redo the contract.
Yeah, we have to redo the
Oh,
contract.
okay.
Yes.
Contract
And,
has to be redone.
okay, and redo the contract, have it come back to the council for final approval.
Right. And then, okay, we do have that motion, all right? Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
Okay, seconded by Michael. Further discussion? Okay, remember, in my mind, I'm being consistent with what I've said about our golf course. We own the place, we own the pipes, we own the equipment, and so forth. Therefore, it's our obligation to maintain it and see that it stays up to standards. And I personally feel the same way about the Little League part. Okay, if they got a massive plumbing problem over there under the ground, it shouldn't be thrown on them. Okay, now, normal run-of-the-mill stuff, sure, no problem. Okay, but for example, broken windows here and there and those kind of things, it's our property. Somebody breaks into our property over here, we're responsible for it. So I think that's kind of what I would like to see, and that's my viewpoint. So we do have a motion and we have a second. Is there any further discussion? Okay, all in favor of Josh's motion?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Appreciate you.
So you don't gotta worry about mowing the grass.
It's
In
this
the
long.
off-season.
It's this long right now because it rained.
Yeah. Oh, they won't be later. Pete, you okay, brother?
Come on down.
We have a question.
Come to the podium.
Well, you can, sir, I guess.
Do they pay for the what?
They get 50,000
Yeah.
gallons a month.
Does the new park over here pay for water?
I don't understand.
What new park?
Our park down here.
Yeah, no, but in the contract it specifies, they get, it's the city of Devine will provide the water and sewer up to 50,000 gallons of water in a calendar month. In the event that Devine Little League uses more than 50,000 gallons of water in any calendar month, the city will bill the Devine Little League for excess amount of water.
So,
I'm just asking because I've never thought about it before, but, you know, if they're gonna fall under park and recreation, be treated like all of our parks, I don't know why that would be. I'm just asking.
no, we do, we only get 50,000, we don't ever turn it on for all season ever. But with the water leak, we were still required to pay the $800 for 3 months last year. And it's not our water leak, and we still pay the money for the water leak.
I know you said it up there, but somebody said they're under the park and recreation like any other park. Right?
That's what I was recommending.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that isn't how it is right now.
No, you know, it's not treated like
Yeah.
that.
Right now, it's kind of the way it is, so, yeah, so
Food for thought.
Sure hope that gets amended in the contract.
Food for thought.
okay. All right, that motion passes. Any further discussion from anybody? You're welcome. This is an open meeting as much as possible. Okay, agenda item number 14. Consider and act upon the city to adjust the permit fee on existing structures to no more than 5% of the project cost, or $500, whichever is less, but not less than $40 to cover administrative fees. This is requested by Josh. Josh, you have the floor.
I thought that somebody might have to request permission from a government entity to do work on their own property offends me. It offends me even greater that we have been charging folks 30% of the project cost. You want to lay a driveway, you're looking, the permit fee is going to cost more than your concrete. It's insane. I'd really like, and everyone up here has said we need to clean up this town. Well, if we want to clean up the town, we need to make it a lot easier and a lot more affordable for folks. A $10,000 job should not require a $3,000 permit fee. So I hope if it takes a little bit extra time from code enforcement to go out and help someone work through the problem, which that's the next agenda item here of not being barriers to fix the stuff. If they got to put in extra time, I think $500 on a more complex project more than fits the bill to cover that time.
This is another thing I wish I would have had a few days ago.
I just put this together last night, so you weren't getting it early, sorry. I looked at, because Josh did bring this up to me, asked my opinion on it.
I did send emails to everybody.
Oh, okay.
Individually.
Okay, well, my answer was, let me look into it. My question to Josh is, which items are you talking about that 30% is added of the value?
So, from my understanding, and this is not super clear, but everyone I've spoken to has had to get a permit, is 30% the cost of the job, period.
Okay, that's illegal to do since 2019.
Then why are people still doing it?
I'm just saying, it is against the state law. This 30%, this is our fee schedule, by the way, everybody.
But this is on new homes.
No, new homes is based on square footage.
Oh, okay.
The rest of all of this is like renovations and,
By trade.
yeah, and by trade, like if you're putting in a lighting system or whatever in your yard, whatever. I personally don't understand and
So
why
like
we
a
have to do
solar
this, but.
panel, it's $160 plus the 30%. That's what it is. It's
Okay,
not based on
30% of the
valuation.
160.
Yeah, of
Yes.
160. Yes.
Because
Why
that
wouldn't they
30%
make it-
is gonna be the
Now,
inspection fee
the-
Why
that we
wouldn't make
get.
it 208?
No, it's Bureau Veritas gets inspection fees.
They get inspection fee, but we get plus 30%.
Oh,
Administrative. It's
Yeah.
administrative fee, the
Yeah.
30%.
And council can change the 30%. I mean, it's not,
Wow.
I mean, but that's what it is, that's what it's been set for. It's 30%.
So I know I asked this question before, but I forget already. The three things there we can just talk about. Solar panels, manufactured homes, swimming pools. Well, now that one does say by valuation.
That's for the in-ground pools.
Oh, okay. So let's just use solar panels because it's much easier. It's $160. Is that for the permit and inspection? Okay, so the 30% is the $48 or whatever it was. Correct? Yes, $48 I think is that.
That's what the city.
So 160 goes to Veritas and
Yes.
48 goes to us. That's not 30% of the project.
Dora, can you explain this 30% thing? Because I know someone's been down there trying to get this stuff done this week and last week, and they were told specifically they had to pay 30% of the total project cost for a very small addition or painting, addition of siding, which those things don't even require permits.
Yeah, so the fee schedule, that that came to council back in June of 2019, when the law changed. It says the following is hereby accepted amendment to attachment B fee schedule with the standard professional service agreement between Bureau Veritas and the city of Devine, dated March of 2014. By changing a heading of the existing inspection fee table and by adding additional method of calculating fees for residential construction, reference HB 852. So we used to charge by valuation, but we cannot. It's not legal anymore.
Oh, that's okay. That makes sense.
Yeah, we don't. It's based on square footage. So, and then they gave us this fee schedule that this is how we charge by the trade.
It's the worst
For
fee schedule I've ever
addition,
seen.
let's say for remodeling, let's say you're doing a remodeling, I'm just exaggerating here, 500,000. All you're gonna pay is, the max is $400.
Per trade. $100 per
For
trade.
remodeling, whatever remodeling you're gonna be doing.
That's
So
not the
100
current
for
practice.
electrical, 100 for plumbing, 100 for
The max is
contractor.
400.
Okay.
That's good in a new house, so if you got 3 sheets of paneling that are rotten, they wanna replace it, they contract somebody, do they gotta get a permit? Or they can do it themselves, they
That's
don't get a
repair.
permit, right?
That's just
Repair,
repair.
okay.
That's repair.
So this is just building, correct?
Just changing of
Just-
the structure, of the
Yeah.
original structure.
Okay, so,
Yeah.
okay.
That's how I understood it.
Yeah.
Also.
Like, we don't charge for, like, if you're gonna change out your roof, unless you're changing out the actual,
Square footage.
no,
The
the
rafters.
Structure.
The rafters.
Structures, okay.
Like you put a gable or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know.
Okay, so it also, it says here detached miscellaneous, like carport, patios, pergola, decks, blah, 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 based on valuation. Well, I thought we can't do it on valuation.
On which one, I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Detached miscellaneous projects, carport, patio, pergola, decks, fence, garage, storage building. Right under swimming pools. See, this is very confusing because up here it has attached garages, down here it's
It's the non-living
detached.
That's your home,
space
so. Sorry?
It's non-living space.
that can be done by valuation, not your home.
Okay, so if it's detached and I'm gonna put a pergola in my backyard, I have to get a permit? And it's based on if it costs me $5,000, then we're gonna charge them what? Like, I don't like that. I don't like that either.
Yeah.
It should be a flat fee for
Okay,
a
so when
pergola.
Bureau Veritas, when they sent this and it went to council, so they put 0 to 1,500 square feet, the fee is $785. So, 1,501 to 10,000 square feet is $785 for the first 1,500 plus 35 cents for each additional square foot to and including the 10,000 square feet. Over 10,000 square feet, it's 3,760 for the first 10,000 square foot, plus 15 cents for each additional square foot over the 10,000. And then they have.
But that's new
No,
homes.
those are new.
Those are
Okay,
new homes.
thank you.
Construction.
Yeah, I'm
That's a
talking
new
about
home
a
and-
detached project, carport, patio, pergola.
I agree with you. Yeah.
I mean,
think
I
it's
just, I can't, I mean, what if I wanna get a storage shed and build it out there? I wanna replace my storage shed. Well, the darn thing's gonna cost me what, $2,000? I have to pay a permit, 30% of that,
No.
just to put a darn
No,
new
no,
storage?
no.
These are the things I think is how
It's
this is
not-
being read, and it's causing a lot of friction out there.
It's being inconsistently applied to. I've talked to enough contractors, they're getting told these inconsistencies from your code enforcement person.
Yeah.
The detached miscellaneous project, okay, that doesn't have the 30%, correct?
No.
It's based on valuation.
So what is
So-
it?
so
That's what I'm saying.
to
What do you
me
get
is,
charged?
Why in the world would that determine your your inspection fee based on the valuation? I can put up a 300-foot building and it could cost all kinds of prices.
Well, I know like for a storage, if it's less than so many square footage, you don't have to have a permit for a storage building.
Okay, what about a carport? I mean, these are things on our fee schedule and it's not clear. I'm
Does this just need to
confused.
be rewritten?
Definitely needs to be rewritten.
So I've got bickering from the back that needs to be rewritten in English. But I've had a neighbor who's had to go round and round with the storage facility thing as well. It's very confusing and it's inconsistently applied. I have done the homework to talk to contractors to get very specific instances. They don't want to come here because they're concerned with ramifications of that. But it's the inconsistency here and just the challenge of, well, what is it today? And so I make that motion, we reduce the fee for any permitting, 5%, no less than $40, no more than $400 for any work to be done in the city of Devine on an existing structure or an existing residential property, to exclude new construction.
But we don't get to set the price of Bureau Veritas. Okay?
So no, that's inspection, that's separate from permits.
I thought we were talking about permits.
Well,
We
the
were talking about
permits,
permits.
the permit is 30%
I'm sorry,
of their
I meant
inspection
inspection.
It's the hidden
fee.
tax the city levies.
It's our, okay, that's not fair to call it a tax.
It kind of is.
No, it's not. It's an application fee, so to speak.
That's a hidden tax.
We still have someone who has to make the phone calls, set up the work, do the
Sure.
do.
It needs
It's
to
gonna
cover-
cost money.
Yeah, it needs to cover that part. It needs to cover your contract on that.
I agree.
But when you go in addition to that, then it becomes revenue.
Okay, so
It's a hidden
example, a 1,500 square foot storage unit that you're gonna put in your garage, in the backyard. To have that built, Veritas is charging $785 for the inspection. That's what it is on their fee to us.
That's
New house.
New
Residential.
new construction, new residential, new.
So that's a house.
A house, yes, you see, new residential
Living.
construction, yes.
Somebody's living in it.
Oh, so
Okay.
it's down on the bottom, $100.
Look at the bottom,
It's
alternate
100.
addition.
It would be
to
$100.
resident-
Okay, so building, mechanical, electrical, plumbing, fuel, gas, similar. So $100 for the permit,
So
for the inspection, and it'll be $30 for the permit. So
Right.
$130 total.
Correct.
Right,
So we can control the inspection fee.
yeah.
We cannot, no.
Or, sorry, the permit fee.
The permit fee is 30% of the inspection fee,
Gotcha, okay.
okay? 30% of the inspection fee of these thingies is the permit fee. But we get paid the whole thing, because we have to pay Veritas.
We don't pay Veritas, the consumer pays Veritas.
Yeah, we do.
Yes, we do.
We
Yeah,
have to pay them,
yeah, we pay.
yes.
My money went somewhere.
And I did,
I think the point is well taken. In other words, we need to be a little bit friendlier helping people get things done around their house.
I think we
Properly.
need a better fee schedule
Yes.
written up. This
Yes.
doesn't work for, I even told
I
them this
agree.
this morning, this
There's-
does not work for me.
There's too much pressure put on code compliance here when they go out to see something, if they don't have something that's really concrete to look at.
Right, that they can hand and say, this is our fee schedule for
Right.
this stuff.
And then whatever.
I can even help Rebecca with it if you want me to. I don't have a problem with that, but it can't be this anymore.
Well, and the fee schedule that we come up with needs to be, in other words, cover our administrative costs. Okay, we don't need to make money on it.
Right.
Okay, we need to be as friendly as possible to people and businesses that want to enhance their property and so forth. So we can come to that end in a different fee schedule. I agree with you, Debbie. I think it needs to be redone.
Uh-huh.
This goes to my bigger point, that our code compliance needs to be actively working with residents of the city to help solve problems, not being a hindrance. And I do not see that trend.
Okay.
Make a motion table until we can get a draft?
Make a motion.
We can come up with a draft.
Okay. Make a motion, we table this item until a draft is presented no later than January of 2024.
We have a motion by Josh to table the item, agenda item number 14, regarding permit fees, no later than January of 2022.
Second.
Okay,
Seconded by Flipper. Any further discussion, guys? Oh. Okay, we're gonna pass the motion?
Yeah.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
No, I wasn't getting involved with that. I was just gonna say, in my humble opinion, by promoting growth, and you touched on that lightly, but by promoting growth, encouraging growth, is you're gonna make money on the backside of the city will make money through taxes because their taxes are gonna increase. Rather than stymie it, support it. Do what you can, as long as you're covering the bottom line and you're not losing money, I don't have a problem with paying fees.
I agree.
At all. But I know what makes the world turn, but at the same time, if you stymie growth, you're gonna lose in the long run because people are gonna sell the house at a deflated price, they're gonna move away and go to a more acceptable area. It's just the way it is.
Agreed.
So I just wanted to touch on that just a little bit because I sat where you sat.
Gotcha.
Much appreciated.
Thanks, Phil.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on, please. We still have ground to cover. Agenda item 15, consider an act upon for the Devine Volunteer Fire Department to be considered for contracted inspection services as a primary option, with Bureau Veritas being a secondary option, at the discretion of the permit requester, and Devine VFD being expected to maintain requisite certifications. Okay. Requested by Alderman Ritchie, District 4. Once again, your table.
Okay, multiple points that I really think are beneficial on this one. One, the Devine Volunteer Fire Department, obviously an extra stream of a little bit of revenue would help them better serve the community. Additionally, they can then approach these code compliance issues, inspection issues with the concern of safety. So instead of shutting down bricks like Bureau Veritas was trying to do a few months ago, they can approach it with some different solutions of, okay, here's a more cost-effective way to put on this addition that it doesn't break any laws. They can also then come back to us and recommend changes because the city has the authority to adjust code. We don't just have to accept it. This also gives an opportunity for the high school students that are graduating, going through that fire program to aspire to other goals. Instead of having to build a resume by coming through small cities like us, get the training, get the certifications, and then leave to a bigger city where they can make more money, which we've experienced a whole lot of that. Get folks that aren't certified, they get their certifications and then leave. Obviously, those kids are there for a reason, that they have a passion for being in the fire department. Additionally, a lot of the contractors, they have to apply erroneous regulation to their building. This is something I talked to Corey Thompson about. They still apply Atascosa County regulation to Devine because they just can't conceptualize the change in the county line. So we have to have hurricane strapping and different ratings on windows and all sorts of materials that dramatically increase the cost that you have to pay then to put up a house or even do renovations. So those sort of inconsistencies across the board, I would love to outsource that locally. Additionally, they've already got the folks over there with the certifications and the licensing required for this. Now we don't need to worry about that. It just takes all off our plate. And lastly, I would love to not send our money to a French company, Bureau Veritas. That's not an American company. Let's keep some more money in the U.S. here, and especially Devine.
Do we know for sure it's not an American company? Just use a French name?
No, it's a French company.
Okay.
They're across the world with inspectors. They do all sorts of stuff.
Well, I think that all sounds great. But do you know of any VFDs that do that? Or is there a precedent?
That was brought to our attention by someone interviewing for a position recently.
Oh, that's true.
That was they had a lot of good stuff to say about that. And
Well, I know Lido used to use their the fire department, but they just recently, I want to say this month, hired like a Bureau Veritas. I don't know who it is. I don't know the company, but they've stepped away from having the fire department do it.
It's an engineering firm.
I'm sorry?
It's an engineering firm.
Oh, okay. On the flip side from you, I get to have the local guys do it and have the VFD make some money. They have to have certifications on building inspection, not just fire safety, But all that stuff that Veritas has, they have to do that. Number two, that puts a lot of liability on our fire department, as if they don't have enough right now. But, because if something goes wrong, it's their fault. I'm saying, I don't think we should go there. And think, if you want a different company to do inspections, go do some research and find that out. But I don't think doing the fire department is the best bet.
Well, the guy that's currently certified over there and leading their training coordination, he also just came from Poteet and did it down there, so he's definitely got the experience. And the other thing I forgot to mention, when you go with these big companies, it takes a while for them to schedule you in. So you guys got a crew sitting there for days, weeks before they make it around to give you inspection. It costs money, drives up cost even more.
I don't know, when I was doing some stuff, they got me right in right when I wanted to. Like, literally within a day.
I'm glad you had a positive experience.
I had a positive experience.
5 out of 5 stars on Yelp.
But, yeah, I'm just saying, I think it's too much to put on our fire department for this.
They're open to it.
I still think it's too much. I think we need to go with a more experienced group.
That applies, their experience still applies incorrect regulation.
I don't think it applies to building. Fire safety, yeah, they know all that good stuff. And safety, like, not just because of fire. I'm not comfortable with it, with the fire department doing building inspections.
Would it not go without saying, though, that they would have to get the necessary
Yeah.
training and such? And because Josh also has on here, with Greer Veritas as a secondary option.
Yeah, so if that guy ever leaves, or
So
there are
if
other
you had a
folks,
gap,
yeah.
I'm just not for going to the fire department at all.
Is this something that we would have a contract with them for?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
It's a bit strange to me that we're using volunteers as contracted.
So I did ask about this, the planning and zoning thing at ACOG, and they said this is a fairly common thing across a lot of cities. Just
Okay.
because that way you don't have to pay for your own thing, or your own person for just inspections.
So what sort of training or certifications would they have to go through
There's state regulations.
to do this?
It's
Okay,
state
what?
and federal. 'Cause it-
State, federal?
It
So
depends
they
on
would
their
have
national
to have
building
their
codes.
code compliance certifications, ICC. They would have to have their building inspection, electrical inspections. They have to be a licensed plumber to do a plumbing inspection. And then you have your mechanical inspections.
Yes.
They would have to have all of those certifications to do an inspection.
And if they were to lapse on it, that Bureau Veritas is still an option.
What does the attorney say?
Our attorney says you can't do it. 3 attorneys at ACOG say you absolutely can, and it's a common occurrence.
Tom says no, but 3 others said yes?
Yes.
That's ACOG, not a city attorney.
Alamo Area Community Government is, they pay city attorneys to come in and advise.
I understand what you're saying. I understand.
It's a lot for an individual from the fire department to come in and spend all that money. And that's probably gonna take them at least 2 years to
my point is already
understand
happened, though.
construction,
Okay,
electrical.
you're saying one guy has all of those.
That is exactly what Dave conveyed to me, because I wanted to ensure they were okay with me even bringing this up before I brought
I'm
it up.
still not for it.
I was gonna get to you, Mr. Montgomery there, if you had something to say, since we have a small audience and it's not, so I welcome your remarks. You good? Okay, have a good evening, thank you.
Well, I'll tell you what, how about I make a motion, we table this until next month so that they can come out and speak to it.
They, as in the
The
fire
fire department?
department?
Fire department,
Okay.
yeah.
Is that a motion?
Yes.
Okay, we have a motion to table this item until the fire department can be represented to speak on it.
I second.
Okay, motion by Josh, second by Clipper. All in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Okay, agenda item 16, consider and act upon decorating the four corners and purchasing decorations. Possible budget amendment requested by Alderwoman Granville District 5. Okay, Debbie?
Well, we kind of talked about this at our last meeting,
Yeah.
but it wasn't an agenda item, so we couldn't really make any decisions. Like we talked about earlier with Chamber and then with Steve, last year we did, well, it wasn't the city, it was the mayor, but it doesn't matter, the city was, represented on the Pico corner. And Stacy and I had talked after last meeting, and she said she would be happy to help do
I would, yes.
but we're gonna need decorations, like we need lights. I know there's electrical at the pole, so you need, lights and whatever our creative person over here comes up with, but we're still gonna have to pay for it. I mean, whatever it is, a banner or lights in the trees so what are some people's suggestions here? And do we wanna make a motion saying up to a certain amount could be spent?
I think it's a no-brainer, okay? And also, I think at the last meeting, I was asked if I wanted to have the mayor corner like the previous mayor, and I just recommended we should have something from all of us, the city of Devine, okay? So that's my input on that. I'm fully in favor of it personally. You just need to set a limit, I would assume.
What would be the limit?
Well, I can tell you from the last 2 years doing it, except for I don't know how much the wood was for those boxes. I know wood is expensive though.
Yeah, it is.
But I'm gonna say, I don't think we spent more than $500, and it could have been a little less. Like, it could have been, because maybe the wood was left over. I don't know if it was purchased just for the boxes.
And this could be something that will be kept.
Yes, it's definitely
Yeah,
something
so
we should be
the following
keeping
year,
and
it
put
may
in a
not be-
storage
it won't
box
be nearly
and,
much.
yeah. Cause it can be used over and over until they break or,
Where's the stuff from last year then?
we personally bought them ourselves.
Ugh.
Because the city didn't wanna do it, so we
We
bought
got
it.
some folding chairs. I bet we can find a trailer, call it good.
You're killing me.
I thought
That's
we
why
were
we
talking
don't let
about,
him make the
we're talking about
The
four
Merry
corners.
Christmas trailer?
Right.
Yeah, we're talking about the four corners.
Not the parade.
Posters of each of us.
Okay, we're not talking about the parade, we're talking about
We're
the
talking about
four corners.
Yeah.
I don't know if we wanna make a sign, do we wanna, the chamber has a big Christmas tree, so I don't know that
I
we
wouldn't
wanna
wanna
go
do a
there.
Christmas tree,
But,
yeah.
we could get those silly little blow-up dinosaurs or whatever. I'm not saying that's what I wanna get, I'm just saying there's a lot of things we could do. Stacy.
I think
could
a
be-
banner saying like Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays from the Devine City Council would be great.
Or from the city of Devine.
City of Devine, whatever, yes. And then I don't care what people say, I love those blow up things.
Thank you.
They make me so happy.
So, but we do need to make a limit.
Yeah.
Because I know Dora is we're gonna have to amend the budget, and she's gonna have to give, either we pay for it and then she reimburses, like, I don't know how that all works, I've never done it before. But give us a limit, cause I'll help Stacy go through this she gets to make the decision, I'll help, I'm the gopher.
Is there some sort of recommendation for limits on this? Like
Somebody make a motion?
200, 100, 500? I don't know.
Well,
Yeah.
you needed 5, maybe we did 5 last time, why don't you just bump it up a little bit?
But that's what's with a lot of handmade stuff too. Like, a lot of it was handmade, but we could do the limit. Just give us a.
I mean, it'd be nice if you set something up for Christmas where people get down and go take a picture with it, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, even if we do a banner and then put lights in all the trees, it would be pretty. Like, it would be pretty. So, and they make those solar lights now so we can make the banner lit up. Or if not solar, it goes to the pole.
Well,
A lot of
both you are gonna be
extension
doing
cords.
Most of the job, so.
I'm sorry?
I said, both of you are gonna be doing most of the job and the thinking. I mean, I'll help out, but throw out a number and I couldn't tell you how much I need.
How much would a banner cost?
It's around $4 to $5 a square foot,
I know Cindy had talked to us about like the one
What you
that's
do
at
for
the.
them, for the chamber? You
The
did a
one
sign light?
at the Catholic Church.
Yeah, and the one at the Catholic church?
Okay, the Catholic Church we didn't do, but that's okay. I think it was donated.
But didn't y'all do one for
Something
the
like
chamber?
Yeah, we've done several.
You did the Merry Christmas one for the chamber last
Yes,
year.
ma'am.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
you don't need to tell us exactly how much, but in the ballpark, how much?
It's all dependent by size.
If we did one that size,
Trying to remember sizes, probably
I
4 by 8.
I wanna say she told me it was between 3 and 350, but I can't remember.
That would be a very big banner.
Well, it is a big one, it's as long as this table at least.
Like 250 or something, I think.
Example, if you got well, I don't know, I can't remember size, that, but a 4 by 8 banner is 32 square feet, you're around, depending on how it's made, between 125 and 150 on that. You get bigger. Then
So a
it's
bigger
dimensional.
banner would, let's say 300, like, let's just round it up. For a banner, and then we got lights and,
think
lights
you
are not
should-
expensive, but.
I think you should just give a nice discretionary figure, and then everybody uses their best judgment to stay within that, not necessarily spend it all if you don't have to.
800?
But.
That might, at least,
I mean,
the
because-
banner might cost us
Calm
more.
That's enough money there.
Well, you said it was a thousand.
Holy cow.
Let's round it up.
Anyway, let's move on somehow, please.
But I do, like 800 would probably cover the banner and then any other little.
That's a heck of a banner.
No, a banner and all the extra lights and the decorations, because those could cost also,
That sounds pretty good to me.
Oh, you've not seen my yard at
All right, let's do
Christmas?
that.
Good way to
No, I
start.
just saw the Amazon bill for my wife decorating ours.
Okay.
Okay, we need a motion, please.
I'll make a motion that we, set a budget for $800.
1,000.
Too much.
We're trying to use our taxpayers' monies wisely
And amend the budget.
and
To
amend the
amend the
budget.
budget. To
And remember, this won't
I'll
be
second
every
that.
year. It'll
It's
carry
the-
over. Okay, we have a
correct.
motion by Stacy,
For 800?
with a limit of $800 for our part of the Christmas decorations. Oh, holiday decorations, excuse me. And we have a motion, a second by Debbie. Any further discussion?
Can we amend that and reduce it a little bit?
If the motion doesn't pass, you can.
I'm not going into this wanting to spend all of that. In fact, I'm thinking far, far less.
I was
But
thinking less
if
too,
this
but-
is something that we would like to have quality made so we can use it for years in the future without having to spend more money, then I would rather have that cushion.
Pete, do we have places to store the stuff that won't get destroyed by rats or drug addicts breaking and stealing crap? I'm serious.
Yeah, we have space, we do.
Don't try to drag Pete into this, all right?
We get a call on a regular basis, someone's breaking into a building, stealing stuff, and heck, they have a freaking possum raccoon dying in their old work building. These are legitimate concerns.
I have an in with the library. I could probably find us a safe space
We have a
there.
closet in here we can
Yes.
use.
Okay, it's, next, anybody else? Okay, we have a motion, a second?
I
All in favor of the
second.
motion?
I did second it.
Okay, got it. Got it? Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
Is that a nay or an aye?
A reluctant aye.
That was a growly eye.
Okay. Motion passes unanimously.
Debbie, on this
Hey,
next one.
they will be smart with the money. Okay?
These categories. on this
Okay,
list.
guys, agenda item 17.
Trailer. Okay.
Consider an act upon the council to set a time/date for decorating of the parade float as requested by Debbie.
Okay,
Debbie.
so we talked about this too last meeting, but no, whatever. Last year, we were able to use the little building behind the county, at the county, right down the street here, where Danny Lawler's office is. And did you talk to Danny?
Danny's okay with it.
He's okay, great, so we can use the building again. It's enclosed, so if it rains, which the last 3
It does.
years it has rained the night before, whatever we do won't get boo-booed. So we need to do it either November 1st, 2nd, or 3rd. The night before is usually not a good night, because I know 2-3 years ago we did that and it was awful. So I would suggest Wednesday or Thursday, like the 1st or 2nd, and we can meet at, again, 6 or 7. It usually if we have enough people, well, if Flipper brings his whole family, we have a whole lot of people. But if we have enough people, it only took, what, an hour and a half last year? And we were done.
Do
So,
we really need a motion though? I mean, isn't that something we could just coordinate?
Well,
She's just
also-
talking on a plan right now.
Okay.
and also, we need to purchase or do we need to purchase anything for the trailer? Or is that gonna be out of our pocket, which has happened many times in the past? I'm fine with
still
that.
formulating a plan.
Okay,
on
cool.
that, so I will get back to you.
So what I need is what day is best for everybody, Wednesday or Thursday, the 1st or 2nd? And who's gonna actually come and help us, and don't make us do it all ourselves?
I'll be there.
Thank you, Michael.
Awesome, I get signed up for stuff I don't like, and I get shamed into participating.
You know, I have 2 adult children that learned what guilt is. I've learned the technique.
I won't be here Thursday or that.
You won't be here Thursday?
The 2nd, I won't be here.
I'm up.
Wednesday be perfect.
Wednesday the
Wednesday then.
1st?
And I have
Okay,
all
first.
my Indians over there.
Right? They were good helpers.
The 2nd?
The 1st,
The first.
Wednesday the 1st.
No, I can't do the 1st.
And you said the city's giving us the candy to toss?
Yes.
Skip candy for y'all.
Okay.
They buy the
I'm gonna have to
candy.
give extras, man.
Is
We
it a
need-
soccer
I think
practice?
we need like 3
We'll let you
bags
slide,
each
Josh,
this
because he
year.
has the workforce.
That's good. Wednesday's
Yeah,
church,
just-
Thursday's soccer practice.
Okay, guys, we need to,
Yeah.
Wednesday then, the 1st,
Yes.
6 o'clock at the Danny's place.
10-4.
Okay, cool. That's all I needed, because we need
Got
to
it.
be,
Okay.
you won't show up, I know you won't.
no formal action taken on agenda item 17. Okay. Moves us to review the quarterly investment report. Dory, you want to report on this rather quickly? Did you want to report on this or just for our?
It's just for y'all to review, we have to present that to y'all.
Okay,
Quarter.
I reviewed it, I like it.
Hey, yay.
Okay. Everybody good?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Agenda item 19, informational items. I did have a question, Dora, have we gotten any response from the school district on the contract I signed last week?
No, when it was sent I sent it to Jerry, so I've not heard. I don't know if you wanna reach out to Todd?
I can.
Okay.
Okay. Anything else, guys?
Yes.
Informational
I do.
items.
I
Okay,
do,
go
real
ahead.
quick. Police department, of course, we still have a vacant position for one officer, that left us 2 months ago, right? So we have another one leaving in 2 weeks, and we may possibly have 2 more leaving.
Holy crap.
We cannot compete with the sheriff department. The sheriff department got some kind of a grant through the comptroller where, they're able to increase by 15%. Their officers' pay, I don't know how long it's gonna last, right? That's the one thing we don't know. How long it's gonna last. My understanding, they reached out to like Lyle, Hondo, cause Hondo was fixing to lose 2, but, so their council decided to do what the sheriff department did, but of course municipalities did not get the grant. Only sheriff departments got this grant. And it's to help because of the immigration and all of that, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's all of that. So, Hondo, I think, was able to keep 1, but the other one did go to the sheriff department. So just to let y'all know that, and then we have 1 officer that's gonna be going out for surgery. So in November, sometime in November. So, we just wanted to let y'all know that we, may be short-staffed in the police department.
Well,
Okay. All right, anything else, guys?
Oh, and they may need help for the fall festival if by that time, that we are short-staffed. They may have to reach out to the county to help for the fall festival.
Okay.
how much money do we have left in the hot fund?
In the,
Hot tax.
the hotel,
Yeah.
I can't tell you all.
I remember we had like
But I can
20. We had 20.
So,
And 43
Oh,
will
we
go to
have about-
Govardina and 5,000 now is going to
We have
Chamber.
about 30,000.
Oh, so 30, we got more. Hot
so the
diggity.
reason I asked that question is, could we give more to the chamber and maybe they happen to pay security with some of that extra money?
That
Okay,
money
you're
can
off,
only be used for advertisement.
You're off topic, we can't discuss this right now, we've already had that issue.
Okay, we won't have cops, so might need security.
Well, they're not here to talk, so that would have to be an agenda item where they could be, they'll be represented.
Yeah. I have one question, Mr. Mayor.
Yes, ma'am.
Did you by chance get an update or an answer on the investigation through the sheriff department?
As a matter of fact, I did, okay, all right, Randy and I are gonna be meeting here soon. He will be prepared to present a report at our next regular council meeting.
Next month?
Yes, ma'am.
What is this for?
The water tie-in?
Water
Water tie-in,
issue
okay.
with the golf course and the sprinkler system and such.
Okay. And you said a report next month?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you.
And then, on that gist, I'd just like it to be said, that there was never any accusations about anything that I can recall from the city of Devine. Okay, we had an issue come up and it seemed at the time for me to turn it over to the sheriff. And that's what I did. We haven't accused anyone of stealing water or anything of that nature. It's just that all things considered, which I won't go into detail, but it was here at the meeting, so with all things considered, that's why I asked Sheriff Brown to look into the issue. Okay, nobody accused anybody of anything. That's why he's going to look into it, to see if there was anything to accuse someone from. That makes sense? So, yeah, I think I got blown out of proportion a little bit, but I do understand the concern. But that's why I turned it over to him.
I have one other thing, and then we could be done.
Yes, ma'am.
This Saturday is the Shannon Scramble at the golf course. It's, for anybody who knew Shannon, she was really a big supporter of the golf course. She actually ran it for a little tiny bit. And all the proceeds are going to, buy, golf clubs and such for the kids that come in, for the DYS, if they don't have clubs, you know. That was Shannon's passion, was to have that. So just so you all know, it's this Saturday if you wanna go down there and yippee skippy.
Is it an all-day thing, or does it start?
I think it starts at noon. I don't know if there's music. I don't know if they're having a whole shindig again this year. I just know that it's kind of worthwhile.
That's a good cause.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good thing.
Thank you.
Okay, all right, we'll take a very short break, please. And then for folks in the audience, that concludes the regular part of our agenda. We will be going into closed session to interview an administrative candidate.
Can we just go into closed session and take a break en route?
Huh?
Can we just close up for a closed session and take a restroom break en route? A little quicker. So we don't have to
No,
sit down, go into closed session.
You have to close and then you have to go, and there's procedures here.
I was trying to
Mr.
make,
Josh.
trying to streamline the
In other words, we're just
procedures.
taking a break in a regular session, just like we did earlier. And then we'll come back and I assume we should.
Yes, it's right.
Okay, we'll go to the library, interview the gentleman, okay? So, 5 minutes, okay.
9:17?
9:17.
9:17, recess, 5-minute recess.
Nice.